Tausch, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing good. I think a lot of the points I've tried to say over the years.
Say what you need to say.
I felt validated. I felt like yesterday was a validation.
Validation
especially
Sunday.
for the last 6 months on my end. And what we saw was a dominant defense, a special teams unit that won the day again, and I hope from a Packer fan standpoint, and really from an organizational standpoint, we take a look at this and say, because this is what happens.
Judge Schneider.
This is what happens in the NFL, is everybody looks at what trends did the team that just won the Super Bowl do, and how do we replicate or steal either players, coaches, and or theories that they use, because we all want what we saw last night from them. And Green Bay is not far off. I don't think Green Bay is far off at all, and I would argue, and I heard Jen Latta on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy this morning say something I've been saying, and you know what, it doesn't matter, but I believe it, is, you know, if this team stays healthy, there's a good chance that this show and this week of shows for us would look a lot different. They didn't, so you could waste breath on it. I think Jen's point is very good. I think a lot of Packer fans, and I know that the Packer organization feels that way, or they don't run it back the way they did, that if Micah Parsons and Tucker Kraft are available and Devontae Wyatt, this season looks a lot different. But it didn't, and it hasn't, and the season's over. The thing that I'm a little confused by, because I didn't tweet during the game. I tweeted last night right before I went to bed. And it was about the 1 seed and the fact that we haven't won the division in a while and how important it is. And I know I've taken a lot of shrapnel because I thought the first year that this thing moved
2021
to just one, and Green Bay got the 1 seed where you didn't have to play the opening weekend. Everybody else did.
Yeah.
And how vital that was. Well, it was vital until it wasn't vital, and Green Bay got beat. Special teams. So I understand that, but this season was won. The championship was won on a Thursday night when the Seattle Seahawks came back from 16 down, had some fluke, got home field, and that NFC championship game was the pseudo Super Bowl. The Rams-Seahawks was the Super Bowl. And they won both of those games, and I would firmly believe if they weren't at home and didn't have to play that first round, that is the difference from the Rams winning a championship and the Seahawks. So kudos to John Schneider. Kudos to Russell Wilson, who we talk a lot about on this show. He has now helped the Seahawks win 2 championships because that trade that John Schneider made to the Denver Broncos, look at the haul and the players that helped win that championship last night as a direct correlation with the players that they traded for and got that haul back. It wasn't Herschel Walker, but it was it was one of the more meaningful trades. So kudos to you, Schneider. Kudos to you building your special teams up. Kudos to you making that big boy trade, not paying Russ again, and making it at the right time, and then hiring the right coach, and then executing a plan at a high level. So I hope Green Bay takes note of some of those things, because those little things end up resulting in a championship that was well earned by the Seattle Seahawks.
All right, a couple things. One, I saw the graphic when they put up that trade, and I didn't realize they also got Shea Gilgeous-Alexander in that trade. That was crazy. Secondly, I thought that the number 1 seed was important. Do you believe that the Denver Broncos, if they don't lose their quarterback, are the opponents because they had the number 1 seed in the AFC? Because both number 1 seeds did not advance.
Can anybody that watched that game not tell you that was the case?
I didn't watch that game, so you tell me.
I missed it also. I saw enough clips and I saw enough results to say that ain't going to happen. Would Denver have won with Bo Nix at quarterback, and would it have been the 1 seeds? It isn't always you can't have both. Both 1 seeds Can't
if you
both
say
win.
it's the most important one seed because they're the only ones who don't have to play, then I feel like we need to see.
Of course, one team is not going to end up winning. Does Seattle run the gauntlet and get there if they don't have the one seed? I don't think. I think the answer is no. Would the Rams have won it had they beaten them on that Thursday night and gotten to the Super Bowl? Yes, and they would have absolutely throttled the New England Patriots last night. Injuries happen. You have to deal with them. The Broncos couldn't, and that's why they weren't there. New England could, but maybe they shouldn't have been there because they were not ready for prime time, and that's why Seattle. The thing that is I really question, and before we get into all the other Super Bowl stuff, I put that out there last night, and Packer fans have said, well, why weren't they doing that? But the big thing was, I don't think Packer fans care as much about that. And maybe it's because we've been stung.
It's all because of 2010.
2011.
No, 2010.
2011. The one seed that we didn't win, and we didn't win a game. And then the 2020 where we didn't beat Tampa at home. And then 2021 where we didn't beat Tampa. I think Packer fans have now come to grips with the fact, you can say 2010 all you want. You're not going to run a gauntlet very often. That was very fortunate. And then I'll let you go. Here's what happens.
Thanks.
Packer fans, I believe, look at our team as we want to be in climate control. Our offense is better. We're built to win in good weather. We're not built to win. Our record, we're 500 at home in the playoffs since the Michael Vick game. The home field advantage in the winter, it isn't what it used to be. We're not built like that, so we don't really care if we're playing at home or not. I would violently disagree with those fans, but I got a ton of replies, and that was a predominant thing. So while I look at what happened last night, and I'm hoping everybody sees this vision, win a division, get home playoff games, try to win the one seed. It's the path of least. It's the LeBron of trying to go get a championship. That is the way to do it in today's NFL, where injuries pile up and you play more games than ever. Seattle did it, and kudos to them for pulling it off. And I hope Packer fans don't fall into the it doesn't matter. And I really hope our organization, and I know they do know, they want home playoff games. They want the one seed. They want to play less so that they can play more and have that opportunity to win a championship. Jason, the floor is yours.
Thanks. I think what you heard a lot of in 2011 was that, and obviously they rested their starters in the final regular season game when Matt Flynn threw for 480 yards and 6 touchdowns, was that, hey, we were better off. We ran the table on the road. We don't need to play at home. In 2010, you won the Super Bowl playing 3 straight road games. I do think that influences people's thought processes because I have heard it from Packers fans before. They have failed when they have been the number 1 seed. Now, in fairness, in 2021, the Packers, do you know who the other number 1 seed in the NFL was in the AFC? The Tennessee Titans. The Super Bowl was the 4th-seeded Rams beating the 4th-seeded Bengals that year. Okay? 2022, do you remember who was in that Super Bowl?
Kansas City, probably.
The top seeds were Kansas City and Philadelphia. Do you remember who played in that Super Bowl? Kansas City and Philadelphia, one of the best Super Bowls we've seen. Okay?
All right.
In 2023, the 49ers had the number 1 seed. They reached the Super Bowl where they lost to the Chiefs.
Kansas City.
But Kansas City was not the number 1 seed that year, right? Baltimore was the number 1 seed.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I guess I agree with your premise that having to play 1 fewer game. By the way, last year the Eagles were the 2 seed. They played the Packers in the first round instead of having a bye. The Chiefs were a number 1 seed. So it would appear that roughly half the time the number 1 seed gets to the Super Bowl since we've started
Jason,
doing this.
Nothing is finite. Like, there's always going to be variables. I'm telling you that I think our fans don't care as much as they should about getting that. And yes, we've been stung, and it hasn't worked well for us. But your percentages, and if I hadn't fired our analytics firm and then kind of dog cussed our new one, we don't have an analytics firm, and that's okay. But if we did, I would be curious, how much does your percentage of going to the Super Bowl go up if you're the 1 seed? I am guessing it is a substantial number, and that's where I think Green Bay, as we're getting into the offseason now and building your football team up, everybody wants to build the best team. You have to start looking at this in more of a 3-tiered fashion than what we have. We can't continue to look at this as just offense and defense. And I know they'll say that they haven't, but Seattle won a Super Bowl on the back. What did they score another defensive touchdown last night?
They did.
Huh. Did they have a ton of, I mean, the kicker was unbelievable this year. So that is what it is. Mm-hmm. But that at least puts it at 9 and maybe 10 non-offensive touchdowns. That's 70 points. It's a lot to overcome if you're not doing any of that on your side of it. So I know there's gonna be a big focus on takeaways. I know Green Bay's got a lot of work to do, but I just hope, and I really. Rashid Shaheed is somebody who's a free agent. Be a nice pickup. It'd be a nice pickup. He made a pretty big difference in what Seattle did. And do they win without him a championship? I don't believe so. All this other stuff, their defense is great. Sam Darnold played fine. Their running back is good. All of those things. He doesn't return that punt against the Rams on that Thursday night. The Seattle Seahawks are not winning a world championship. Period. Fin.
I got to be honest, I expected this to be the first segment of you discussing the importance of special teams far more than the importance of the number 1 seed.
I just did.
Well, yeah,
but it all fits together.
It was kind of an afterthought.
It all fits.
It was kind of an afterthought.
It's a puzzle. It is a puzzle.
This was like the last piece that you put in, but you did most of the work with the number 1 seed. It's 9:15.
I said it right.
We got about
I said it right from the jump.
13 and 30 seconds on the
I said it from the
first
jump.
seed. No, you did not give you. Mr.
Jason,
Special
the bottom
teams
line is
did not give enough love to the special teams. It was an afterthought. I'm just telling you. You like to be critiqued. I'm telling you, for a guy who I think has an extremely strong argument. What is that face? You're kind of crinkling your nose.
I'm going to wait till 11:15 to say what I wanted to say.
Oh boy.
I'm going to wait till 11:15.
For a guy who could not be more right about the special teams, I am surprised because their special teams, their punter was great. The Packers have a great punter. He's very good. But their coverage units were great. But because the reason why they still were a difference maker last night is Rashid Shaheed was neutralized. Like, they made sure that he did not beat them. The Patriots did a great job of limiting his impact. Now, of course, they didn't kick off very often because they didn't score very often. But
9 punts.
Yes, and I don't know how many did he return? 1, maybe? They did a great job of that. And yet their special teams were still far and away a huge advantage for them. That's why I'm surprised that you didn't spend more time. That's all. It's not a harsh critique, but I can't wait till you say what you have to say at 11:15. Right now, what you have to say is that Pella windows and doors of Wisconsin are great.
Yeah, our homes need to be ready for just about anything in Wisconsin year-round. That's why Pella focuses on quality and durability in everything they do. It's that time of year this weekend. Valentine's Day, Nari Spring Home Improvement Show. All of those things. What a weekend you can have. Visit Pella at Old Booth 420 on February 13th through the 15th at Wisconsin State Fair Park. If you book an in-home consultation at that show, you will receive a free Design Works rendering. And don't miss out on 0% financing for up to 4 years. That ends at the end of this month. Again, the Nari Spring Home Improvement Show this Friday, February 13th through the 15th at Wisconsin State Fair Park. Visit PellaWI.com today to learn more.
And as Liz Alicious09 points out in the ESPN Milwaukee YouTube comments, Rashid Shaheed also is not a special teams only guy. He played some wide receiver. He was open on that deep ball against the zero blitz there. So
some say he's a lot like Corey Bradford. Some have said
he's more like MVS, but with return abilities. We will discuss further the Super Bowl, which the Seattle Seahawks won 12 years after they won the last one, 11 years after they won the last one. They stood by their general manager.
Because they keep doing the 12s thing, and it's really annoying.
Nevertheless, they win their second Super Bowl with John Schneider as their GM. We'll talk more Super Bowl. And then we'll get to Greg Gard, head coach of the Wisconsin men's basketball team, also scheduled to appear. It's Wilde Tausch.
Wilde Tausch is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio. All day, every day. The Carbless talk and text line is open for you.
First off, there is not one team that's on the fringe that scares me.
800-990-3776. The Carbless talk and text line. This is more.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
That dog does not want to be petted.
Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
Tired of waking up exhausted? That dad bod weighing you down? Let's get you back to the old you. If your energy, focus, and drive aren't what they used to be, your hormones could be out of balance. At Mentality, we'll dig into what's really going on. Then build a personalized, science-backed plan using hormone therapy and peptide treatments to get your brain and your body back on track. So stop telling yourself you're just getting older. Book your appointment now at lowtusa.com. Right now, all new patient labs are covered in your treatment plan. That's a savings of $250. Go to lowtusa.com.
February means big savings at Exterior Pros and Baths. Upgrade your home with energy-efficient windows, durable roofing, new siding, or a beautiful bath makeover and get $3,000 off your project. That's $3,000 in instant savings, but only for a limited time during our February winter savings event. Call 262-800-4274 or visit extpros.com now. Exterior Pros and Baths. Big savings done right.
If you're into muskie fishing, the Muskie Expo is the place to be this coming weekend, the 13th through the 15th, where you'll find an excellent assortment of everything muskies, held at the Washington County Fair Park. Find out more at muskieexpo.com.
The pursuit of fair wages and top-of-the-line benefits is achieved when the right union has your back. The Sheet Metal Workers Labor Union is extremely diverse, representing Wisconsinites working HVAC, architectural metals, welding, specialty fabrication, and much more. Make great living wages with outstanding benefits, pensions, and apprenticeship programs in trained, safe working environments. The Sheet Metal Workers Union is a leading force in the revitalization of the labor movement in Wisconsin.
Looking up at the Marquette banners, brought to you by Saganiac Planning. Number 15 retired in honor of Butch Lee. He finished in 78, and the number retired the next season. It's hard to believe that any player could ever equal what Butch Lee did at Marquette. Part of the national championship team in 77, and the Final Four MVP, and the next season, the consensus National Player of the Year. So much success, it's not necessary to bring up any statistics. Number 15, Butch Lee, did everything. Running a business means taking care of your team and your bottom line. For over 50 years, Saganiac Planning has helped small businesses build smarter, more affordable medical and employee benefit plans. From health insurance to customized coverage options, our experts make it simple to protect your people and your future. Saganiac Planning, your partner in planning confidence. Visit SaganiacPlanning.com or call John Saganiac Jr. today to get started. 262-783-6161.
Ben Brust here for the Princeton Club. If you're looking for your better tomorrow, you know where to go. It's the Princeton Club. If you're looking to grow, it's also the Princeton Club, because they will cheer for you in all areas of your life. The best way to do that is to start a foundation of having a healthy body, and your growth will start from there. With the cleanest health clubs in Wisconsin, they provide everything for you to reach your goals. Start your better tomorrow today and grow in all areas of your life at the Princeton Club. Join for a better tomorrow.
Station updates, show clips, and your place to interact with us every single day just by scrolling through your feed. Follow along on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at ESPN Milwaukee. You're listening to Wilde Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
We'll talk to Greg Gard in a little bit. Tausch, the other aspect of the Super Bowl that I thought maybe we would discuss further, besides the most important number one seed in NFL history, was that the Seahawks owned really both lines of scrimmage.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Like their defensive line just blew away the Patriots' offensive line, and then their offensive line protected their quarterback much better.
Yeah, what I was that was the other thing, and obviously we all know, anyone that's listened to this show for 10 years now, all I talk about is, if you win in the trenches, you win games. And Green Bay's offensive line has been really good and have had a lot of success, and I think the last 2 seasons it has not been as good, and this season I thought it really fell off. And I'm pretty sure that's how Brian Gutekunst feels, and Matt LaFleur, if and when he speaks to you guys, I think we'll echo those same sentiments. New England knew coming in they were going to have a hard time. And if you watched how they played very conservative. That left side of the offensive line is young. It was beaten around by Denver. It was beaten around by the Chargers. Everybody kind of understood that. So I didn't think they did a ton of things to help. Like if I'm New England last night, I'm looking at, in the old days, it was the old U71 package with Kevin Barry. This year, it would have been, what's the guy they brought in?
Darian Kennard, the cousin of
Darian
Dolly
Kennard
Parton.
would come in and play a bunch as a sixth lineman. You have to do some different things to kind of calm things down. And if you're going to play in a low-scoring dogfight, which is New England knew that, especially with Drake May's shoulder, that was the way they needed to play. They didn't do that. But football, while we all look at the quarterback and we get fantasy footballized about wideouts and Jackson Smith and Jigba and all of the great players out on the perimeter, this game is always going to come down to who can block people and who can shed blocks and go make plays. Seattle's defense owned the line of scrimmage, and their offensive line was fine last night, but their tailback was able to bounce balls outside and have a great day. Jesse, awesome day for us on Prize Picks yesterday. So all in all, the line of scrimmage will always matter, and Green Bay knows that. And while I'm harping on them to get their special teams fixed, none of that will matter if they don't get their front lines fixed. Especially, you can't have a game like Baltimore did to our D-line. But I think the big concern is let's get cleaned up in the middle part of our offensive line. That has to be better. Just like New England, I'm certain, is going to look at that tape last night and say, we need to be a heck of a lot better, especially on the left side of that offensive line, because they were absolutely annihilated last night by Seattle.
We'll talk to Greg Gard coming up after Tausch tells us about UW Credit Union, which I can only assume Greg Gard's a member.
Well, I know Greg Gard's basketball team. I go to a lot of games, and there's a lot of T-shirts getting thrown around. No more with the cannon, but with hands, and for every stage of life. UW Credit Union is here forever. You're proudly serving Wisconsin for over 90 years. They're going to help you reach your financial goals. You want to keep your banking local? Do you want member first service? And if you want great perks like early payday, well, UW Credit Union has all of that. If you love Wisconsin like I do, you just can't pay with anything else. Fandom will make you do crazy things, but this makes sense. Become a UW Credit Union member today. Get your Bucky card like I did. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions to apply.
Gardo joins us next. It's Wilde Tausch.
This is Wilde Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
We need to optimize the PID controller for smoother robotic movements.
Our data analysis shows a significant correlation between the variables in both control groups.
The test shows you've experienced an acute myocardial infarction.
As you'll see on the syllabus, this course will largely focus on the Mesozoic era.
Get your child the access every child deserves. Enroll your K through 8th grade child by February 28 at Milwaukee College Prep, mkeprep.com/enroll.
Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center is teeing up the third tournament of the season with another can't-miss event and 1,000 in cash prizes up for grabs. Hey, ESPN Milwaukee, this is Gary Olson, inviting you to a two-man scramble at the iconic TPC Scottsdale, all played on Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center's spacious state-of-the-art simulator. Sign up now at wisconsinindoorgolfcenter.com. It's just $120 per team, and teams must get their round in by February 28th. Your chance to take on TPC Scottsdale starts today at wisconsinindoorgolfcenter.com.
Disney on Ice presents Frozen and Encanto in one exciting family experience. Sing along with Anna and Elsa in wintry Arendelle. And celebrate the power of love, y familia, with Mirabel and Bruno in the show everyone will be talking about, live in your hometown. Playing Fiserv Forum this week. Great seats still available. Visit DisneyOnIce.com for show details.
Experience hot gaming action and a relaxing spa day. Your perfect winter getaway at the island. Book a stay and float package to get both a standard room and a rejuvenating 60-minute float pod therapy session for less than $100. Complement your stay with an elevated dining experience at Horizon Steakhouse and fun on the gaming floor where big wins wait for you. The Island Resort and Casino's stay and float package runs through February. Call 800-682-6040 to book yours today. Certain days and restrictions apply.
Kyle Brust-Norman's Ben Brust here for Grimal and Associates Insurance. They do what anyone with a growing family, like myself, does. Protect what matters most. Grimal and Associates specializes in coverage that's tailored exactly to you. Clients aren't just policies, they're part of their community. Personalized American Family Insurance back service, expert guidance, and genuine commitment. Grimal and Associates focuses on building trusted relationships and providing peace of mind. The same values they've had for over 30 years in the Milwaukee area. Connect with Grimal and Associates at teamgrimal.com.
Did you know Professional Construction Inc. has an in-house team of interior designers? We're excited to bring our expertise to you with our brand new virtual interior design program. Maybe you're not ready for a full construction project, but you are ready to refresh that outdated room. Our PCI design team creates stunning photorealistic renderings, a mood board, and a curated shopping list, all delivered to you in just days.
For all your construction and design needs,
visit professionalconstructioninc.com.
The UW Credit Union member Mark Tauscher here. People ask me, old T, why did you join UW Credit Union? Well, is it to keep your banking local? Is it the member first service? Great perks like early payday? Absolutely. But honestly, between us, I mean, it's Bucky. I can't say no to that face. If you love Wisconsin like I do, you just can't pay with anything else. Fandom makes us do crazy things, but this just makes sense. Become a UW Credit Union member and get your Bucky card like me. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions apply.
Don't think twice. Call Geist.
Don't let a busted garage door get you down. Call my friends at Geist today. For 70 years, Geist has been the trusted garage door authority in Wisconsin. With brands like CHI and LiftMaster, they have doors for every budget and will even build custom designs to get your exact needs. For swift and reliable garage repair solutions, go to geistdoors.com. That's GEIS doors.com. You can also visit their amazing showroom in Brookfield, featuring hundreds of doors and openers and their custom design room.
Don't think twice. Call Geist.
You're listening to Wilde Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio. You're listening to Wilde Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Start your Milwaukee weight loss program now to lose weight fast. Many lose 20 to 30 pounds in a month or two. Call for your free consultation. 262-235-3980. 262-235-3980 or online at MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com.
Results may vary. You're listening to Wilde Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Joining us now to discuss A Road at Night as we continue our support of that film, which not only tells Howard Moore's family's story, but also helps benefit Howard as he continues his recovery. And talk a little bit about Big Ten officiating as well, if we have the opportunity to do so.
Can he get fined for things he says on our show, or just after press
I think
conference?
so. I thought he had a great line that he said at the afterward about how our game is a hard game to ref. That was not a hard call. I thought that was a very kind, polite way to describe what occurred in overtime, and I'm not laughing at his expense. It is our friend Greg Gard, the head coach of the Wisconsin men's basketball team. Gardo, good morning. How are you?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Good. Are there rules? Like, do you have to? How carefully do you have to choose your words when you get completely hosed by officiating?
I mean, I think you're always very selective on what you talk about, and also not seeing maybe all the film angles. So you want to make sure I'm not afraid to say what I'm thinking, but I also want to make sure I have all my information in front of me. So that's I have my processes of expressing my disagreements with the league and follow those. But there's so many other things in that game that we could have done a better job of controlling, that you don't want to put it in an official's hands in a judgment call where it flips the script like that did.
So, Greg, after you watched all those angles, did any of your thoughts change? Because all of us think you got jobbed, if I'm being honest. We all think we got jobbed. What did you see after you took a look at everything a little closer?
Well, you got to go back to the intent of the rule change of why charges are not being called now. And I thought, even though Boyd initiated some contact, the situational awareness I didn't think was very good in terms of what they were trying to attempt to do to chase us down and foul us. And Nick was running out of real estate. He had to go to his right because he was coming to the center line, and it was going to be over and back. And again, just all the 10 years ago, is that a charge? I got a coaching staff member in Brad Davison that made a living on taking charges. But that was the whole intent of the rule change, was to take those plays out of the game and not reward the defense for from that angle of taking contact and falling. And Wright did a good job. He's as good as setting those things up as I've seen since Brad played. So credit to him for selling it. And, we just got to do a better job of putting ourselves not in that position. And whether that's plays before, it's within that play. There's a lot of things to learn from it. But I go back to the intent of the rule change was to eliminate that from being a charge, and that those are supposed to be blocks. So there was said it didn't go our way, so we have to learn from it and move on.
Coaches always want to put their players in the best place.
Diplomatic answer.
I was going to say, coaches always want to put their players in position to succeed. We did the exact opposite with Gardo, but he still did succeed at avoiding saying anything that would get him fined. All right, we'll get back to your team, but I do want to talk about A Road at Night because it is not only powerful, but it is obviously dear to many of us, especially those of us that went to college and were friends with Howard way back in the day, and you and how close you are with him and everything you endured with him and his family when this happened. It is such a hard movie to put into words because it is so tragic and upsetting and yet uplifting. It is so extremely well done and yet so hard to watch. And for those that haven't gotten to see this documentary, it will be at Marcus Point Cinema in Madison starting this week. Starts on Friday. There's a panel on Friday. Our buddy Stan Van Gundy, who was on the show last week, will be there on Saturday, along with Rashard Griffith and Andy Kilbride doing some panel on Saturday. Gardo, when you are promoting this film, how do you talk about it, and what was it like to be part of the process of making it and telling the story, which John Roach obviously does beautifully?
Yeah, and I think in terms of your second part of your question, being part of the process, it was obviously extremely difficult to bring all those memories back up and have to tell that on camera. But it's very, as you mentioned, very uplifting in terms of this is a way, and making this documentary was a way to help Howard and his family. And I think everybody who was asked jumped at the opportunity to be able to help in whatever fashion that may be or whatever role that may be. But yeah, I mean, it's hard to believe that we're coming up on 7 years. Here in May of the accident and just everything. And I think it's so timely to continue to visit this because, we live in a 24-hour or less news cycle. I mean, we're talking about the Super Bowl today, and then tomorrow we won't. And this tragedy that happened almost 7 years ago, not for the people that are close to Howard, but for the general public and around Badger Nation, gets put in yesterday's news cycle. Mm-hmm. So, but the family and Howard are still going through extreme struggles. So I think, reminding everyone that this is an extreme tragedy, but it continues to live on every day, that they have to deal with, obviously the loss of life, but also the disability that Howard's acquired because of it. So it just reminding everyone that they still need help. There's still the daily struggle, and not to let this die in yesterday's news cycle and forget about it. And I think John does a great job of telling this in the documentary, and credit to him and his team for getting it into Marcus Point. And I know they've put it in other places too, and trying to get it moving with Netflix and some of those streaming devices and streaming apps. So just trying to continue to tell the story and not let it fade into, like I said, the expired news cycle.
I said this to Stan Van Gundy when he joined us last week, and I'll say this to you. I think I'm a pretty good person. I know you're a really good person. But in the film, when there's the portion where Howard's pastor is talking about how, they went to visit him in the hospital, and he wants to pray for the woman's family of the family of the woman that hit them. I just thought, I'm not that good of a person. I just am not. And right. And I, knowing Howard, that didn't exactly surprise me. But is that one of the more poignant parts of the film for you, is that shines a light on just how authentically good Howard is of a person?
Yeah, and I didn't need the film to be able to tell me that. I mean, I was there right. The day of the accident, and in the afternoon we flew to Michigan to be with him, and in addition to talking about Jaden and Jennifer, he was in the same ICU room with his son Jarrell, and all he talked about is how he now had to be the caretaker and make sure he made his deceased wife and daughter really proud of his son and help raise his son and be there for him. And obviously that was before the heart attack and everything that happened, a few weeks later. But mm-hmm. his focus was already turned within hours after losing his wife and daughter to how he had to be so strong, and his responsibilities were right on and with his son. And he had completely, even though he was grieving extremely, he had already flipped his focus to how he can help his son. And I think that just speaks to the character of Howard and who he is as a person. And, the film does a great job of documenting events after that of what, like Pastor Matt talked about. But anybody that knows Howard is not surprised by him wanting to turn a tragedy into something positive for other people, and how he can help other people comes out in this story.
All right, last thing about this, because I know you got other things on your plate today. Two things about Howard. One, obviously now he has been unable to do what he turned his attention to. So I know you and so many others and his parents, it has taken a village. But what has it been like to see Jarrell grow up during these 7 years and become the young man that he is? And then my favorite parts of the movie, and the more happy parts for me, are reminiscing on seeing him go into games when I was in the field house covering games, or just being there as a fan, and the impact he had. I mean, I think Oatsy's got a line in there that says something to the effect of, there's never been a player in college basketball who scored only 99 points in his career and had a greater impact on a program. Those two aspects, Jarrell and then Howard's playing career, how do you view those?
Well, it's been amazing to watch Jarrell. And I said from the beginning, no one that's 13 years old at the time when this happened should ever have, no one should have to endure this experience of what he witnessed and what he watched and what he has gone through, let alone somebody that's 13, at the time. And how he is, and I know I'm sure the struggles continue, but how he has matured and grown, and his grandparents and Richard and others around him have done a phenomenal job of helping him and completing the child raising process, so to speak, if you will, with him. He's a phenomenal person and has really been a shining light. I know his mom and his sister are extremely proud of him looking down, and I know Howard is as well. He's a great example of how a person turned in the utmost tragedy and has used it to help him become a great person and a messenger and a light for others. And you're right about Howard. I mean, I always called him the connector. He connected everyone within our program. It didn't matter if you played here in the 50s or you played here in the 2010s, 2020s. He was a bridge to all alumni regimes within our program. That was really important when I took over. I wanted to bridge all gaps, regardless of who you played for or when you played here. And Howard was at the forefront of really initiating that charge. And like I said, he connected with Badgers young and old because he was so passionate about this university, and is so passionate about this university. And like I said, he's a special person that we want to make sure we continue to remember and help in any way we can.
All right, Gardo, I know we got to let you go, but I just want to let you know that Tausch has not proclaimed your team a Final Four team, as he has the past several years.
Yeah, I feel like I jinxed it last year.
So would you like to put in a request that he just continues to not say that, because he's done it the last several years, and obviously it has not occurred, and if you're wondering why, now you know.
Tausch is the jinx? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Tell him he's got bigger things to worry about than that. Tell him to let's help get the Packers back on track here and
number one seeds,
get them deeper in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
And let's get Badger football. Tell him his voice has got to be ready for the fall to get Badger football on the right track and rolling. And and when I need his help in terms of guiding our team to a Final Four, I'll call him. Tell him, don't call me, I'll call him.
Like you did today.
Yeah, Greg, I'm right here, right? Yeah, I'm right here.
I know. All those Auburndale alums, I'm sure, are real proud of your basketball prowess.
That's true.
Gardo, keep up the great work and keep staying on those officials. We appreciate it every time we get to talk to you. Hopefully we can talk to you about more basketball a little bit down the road. Thanks again.
You bet. Thank you, guys. Take care.
That is Badgers head coach Greg Gard. Again, the film is A Road at Night, and there's a few folks that, of course, want more Packers conversation. Look, this is really personal to me, one. Two, really important. And three, for people that don't understand, as Gardo mentioned, Howard survived the crash, was doing okay, it seemed, and then had a heart attack and now needs a lot of care. And so this helps fund some of this care. So if you are going to see the film, know that you are also helping his family. And so on Thursday night, there is a special screening, and it has a panel beforehand, which I think Gardo's part of. It's also got something afterward. And all that goes to benefit Howard and his family. So, this is something that goes beyond just the film itself. So I understand. We've devoted a lot of time to it, and I think it's well worth the time that we've devoted to it. So, again, the film is at the Marcus Point Cinema in in Madison. You can see it starting on Friday. Again, Thursday is the event. It's $225, and that will allow you to help Howard and his family by paying that amount and going to the panel discussions. You can find out everything you need to know and also, frankly, donate directly if you can't make it to Madison for the movie at aroadatnight.com. Okay, it's just the name of the film, aroadatnight.com. So I just want to say to everyone listening, I appreciate you understanding why this is important and why we decided to spend time with Gardo. And by the way, Stan Van Gundy was a great interview, separate from all the discussion of the film. So
was Gardo not?
He was shorter. I mean, his appearance was roughly the same length as the amount of time Stan spent talking about Dick Bennett.
That's very true.
Because I screen recorded the Dick Bennett portion, and it's like 12 minutes, which I need to. I saw Dick was here in Green Bay for the Phoenix game over the weekend, so Matt LePay's helping me get the video to him, and he talked a long time about Dick and a lot of other things. We kept Stan a lot longer than we kept Gardo, so they were both high-quality interviews.
Sounds like Gardo doesn't want you talking about Badger basketball at all.
That was the highlight for me. I don't know about you.
He doesn't want to talk to you about you talking about Badger basketball.
Yeah, I did feel like I was nowhere to be found as he was sitting there talking. That almost makes me feel like I'm going to put myself back out there.
Now, what? I thought you were a friend of the program.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I love Gardo.
Listen, you not to do it.
I love Gardo. Greg Gard is, and I don't want to go down this road
but
right
you're going
now. But
wait till 11:15.
I like this squad. I'm starting to like this squad. The resiliency. So
unbelievable.
I have to be true to myself, and even if that's jinxy, I might have to. We'll see. But I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to the game Friday night, and if we beat Michigan State, I'm probably declaring. I'm just telling you. So I'm telling you.
Friday night is the game?
Yes.
Okay, then we have reason to believe that you'll forget to declare by Monday.
Maybe. It's definitely better than if it was a Sunday afternoon game, yes.
Indeed. So, again, the film is A Road at Night. You can check out more information on aroadatnight.com. But, again, it is at Marcus Point Cinema in Madison starting on Friday, the event on Thursday. Again, you can get tickets for that at the website as well. And then there are screening panels throughout the opening weekend. John Roach and Jarrell Moore, Howard's son, will be there on Friday. Stan Van Gundy will be there with Rashard Griffith and Andy Kilbride on Saturday. There's another panel on Sunday. So, again, go to aroadatnight.com. to find out more. We will get back to the Super Bowl and the Packers and football and all those types of things next. It's Wilde Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch continues next on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Truth Nation, mark your calendars for Friday, February 20th, as we will be hosting our second annual Truth Community Awards, hosted by the legendary Home, Blow, and Bailey Cope. Tickets are on sale now. Visit 1017truthawards.com to learn more. The Truth Community Awards are sponsored by Milwaukee College Prep, the Milwaukee Bucks, Gruber, Steinhoffel, Cousin Subs, and 3rd Street Market Hall. Come celebrate with us on Friday, February 20th at the Truth Community Awards from 5:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. Do not miss out on the best community awards event of the year.
Mark Tauscher here for Iron Jock. As a former athlete, I've worn just about every type of workout gear there is, and nothing compares to Iron Jock. Their performance apparel is built to fight sweat, odor, and bacteria, keeping you feeling fresh no matter how hard you push. From the gym to the pickleball court, Iron Jock keeps you dry, comfortable, and confident. And from now through February 10th, our listeners get 40% off all Iron Jock orders over $50 with the code SUPER40. Iron Jock helps you look good, smell good, and keep showing up. Shop now at ironjock.com.
At Associated Bank, we thought about speaking like other banks with hoity-toity names like Total Privilege Pay or something. But we don't speak bankish, we speak your language. When we say 2-day early pay, we mean you get paid 2 days early. $50 overdraft grace zone? That's a grace zone of up to $50 if overdrafts happen. And maintenance fee free account? Well, that speaks for itself. At Associated Bank, we get you. That's why we've got you. Learn more at associatedbank.com/YouGotThis. Member FDIC.
All Brewers tickets for the 2026 season are on sale Thursday, February 12th. This year, it all kicks off at our house with opening day at home, followed up with a schedule that's absolutely loaded, throwing the same flair for the dramatic thrills on any given night. Plus Brewers giveaways you won't forget. And you've got a season you're going to have to see to believe. Don't miss a second of Brewers action this year. The crew is back for more starting February 12th at Brewers.com.
Imagine working with a contractor that quits halfway through a project or never calls you back when you have questions. Or worse, takes your money and you never see them again. Unfortunately, we hear about them all the time. Hi, this is Eric Brown, owner of Siding Unlimited, and Siding Unlimited is absolutely not that company. Siding Unlimited has been doing business for 32 years, proving to be an honest, ethical, and forthright company. If you're looking for the honest guys for your next siding, windows, roofing, and doors project, stop by sidingunlimited.com today.
Why DIY your frozen pizza toppings when Screamin' Sicilian already went over the top for you? We're talking whole milk mozzarella, heaps of premium meats, a mountain of veggies. Screamin' Sicilian is frozen pizza stacked, no add-ons needed. Mamma mia! Screamin' Sicilian, so loaded with toppings, it's almost cheating. Find Screamin' Sicilian in your local grocer's freezer section and taste what all the screamin' is about.
Make your fitness goals last with Johnson Fitness and Wellness, the largest specialty fitness retailer in the country with 5 locations across the Milwaukee area. Johnson Fitness and Wellness carries the most diversified lineup of fitness and wellness brands. Their expert staff, white glove delivery, and installation, plus flexible financing help you build your home gym with confidence. For a limited time, save big during their President's Day sale, including free weight plates on select Force USA gyms. Visit one of their stores today or shop online at johnsonfitness.com.
Valentine's Day is almost here, and Cousin Subs has the perfect sweet treat. Our limited-time chocolate strawberry shake mixes rich chocolate and sweet strawberry flavor into one creamy, indulgent sip. Share it on a date, or enjoy it just for you. But hurry, it's only available through February 15th. Order in store, online, or in the app today. Cousin Subs, we believe in better.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, sponsored by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Wilde Tausch back with you. Thanks to Greg Gard, the men's basketball coach at the University of Wisconsin, whose team got hosed by the officiating at Indiana. Man, that was bad. I just don't. And especially the fact that they didn't call at least 3 fouls on the way up the floor when the team was trying to foul. I didn't understand that part of it either.
Tough to win. That's why it's tough to win on the road. And as Gardo said, a lot of other opportunities, but that was one of those games. You felt like they were never out of it, but they had a grind. It would have been one of those just great, gritty, what you need to do on the road to win, and you didn't play your best. So it was a gut punch. No doubt.
Have you seen the reverse angle of the second, the one that sent Indiana to the free throw line? Because that one, the Wisconsin defender had his foot like on the back of the ankle. It looks on TV, it looks like an egregious call, but then when you see the reverse angle, that one actually was probably the right call to be a foul after the outrage, about 15, 20 minutes after everyone was up in arms about it, whether you were at an establishment like I was. Yeah, Blackwell's foul.
Talking about Blackwell?
Yeah.
Okay.
The offensive foul was that's the one
I have an issue with.
Yeah, that was the major problem. The other one they might have actually got right. The offensive foul was a joke. He was dribbling away from the basket. Like, he's clearly not trying to initiate contact. That was so dumb.
As my good friend John Benson, who called a lot of college games during his career, worst officiated game I've seen in years. Horrible. A little bit of hyperbole, maybe, but nevertheless. Also horrible, the commercials during the Super Bowl. Were there any that were good? Like I have to admit,
Ben Affleck,
I'm Super Bowl commercial guy. That's the only one. The Dunkin' Donuts, which you once worked the window at.
Yeah, we can't. They're not a partner anymore, so I don't know the name of it, but it was a really good commercial.
I think they have ice cream.
I thought and Pepsi is a proud partner of us. Pepsi was really good with the polar bear.
Getting after their competitor.
Yeah, I love the Pepsi polar. He takes the Pepsi challenge, as we did up at the draft in April, and realizes he likes Pepsi better, and he has to go through it a little bit and come into the terms of that the polar bear likes Pepsi. I like that one.
Yeah, I was underwhelmed. Like, I always look forward to those, and I was just underwhelmed by
I think we should stop looking forward to those.
You're probably right.
They haven't been good for a while.
Probably
and the good ones get leaked early, and you see them. So, no.
What makes a good Super Bowl commercial?
Memorable, funny. And you know what they're selling.
Yep. Okay. That has been your Super Bowl advertising minute.
A lot of AI.
On Wilde Tausch.
Is it possible? We all just think that the NFL is this rocket ship that will never level off or
Are you going to go Cuban here?
No, all I'm saying is the NFL is a juggernaut, no question. But they're pushing the limits, it feels as if. They're going to 18 games. They're making teams travel to Australia.
Every team going to play an international game in a season now, coming up soon.
Listen, we love it. We're going to miss it. I'm sure everybody next Sunday is going to say, man, I miss it. We do. And we do. But I just wonder, at some point, when will the NFL plateau and start going dipping? Because it's been a while. We have grown, and it's gotten more and more popular. More streaming, more money, more revenue, all of the things. And it just feels as if yesterday, with the game that not everybody was that excited about, a lot of people didn't like the halftime show. A lot of people didn't like any of the commercials. I just wonder if maybe we've plateaued. I don't know. Maybe it's the fact that there's not a sexy quarterback matchup. Because I'm certain if you get stars back in there, it would change the overall conversation about what's going on. But that wasn't yesterday. That I know.
So I want to talk a little bit about John Schneider and Elliot Wolf. I wrote about them on Channel 3000, and I got some feedback from fans about the angle that I took. They wanted a more controversial angle.
Do they not know who you are?
They're not familiar with my work, maybe. But it did prompt some debate, which is what we like to do on the radio program. Now, I just wanted to tell the story of Ron Wolf's impact and use the Super Bowl as a jumping off point, but they were looking for something a little different. And maybe I can still write about it during the course of this week, but I want to get your take on this. And Homer is part of this. He's fueling this. But again, in my opinion, and he's welcome to disagree.
John Harbaugh?
It's not Harbaugh related, no. But it is Mr. Policy related. Which, by the way, he also posted his monthly column, and we'll get to that as well coming up. But before we can do any of that, I don't know if American Family Insurance had a Super Bowl commercial, but they definitely have a live read coming from Mark Tauscher right now.
They do. American Family Insurance, a proud partner of Wilde Tausch from the jump, and since 1927, they have been committed to making life better with outstanding home and auto protection, all so you're free to enjoy your dreams. So insure carefully and dream fearlessly with American Family Insurance.
The 10 o'clock hour starts in 2 minutes, so stick around. It's Wilde Tausch.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Hey Tom, I want a new hoop for the kids. Any ideas?
Yeah, I got mine from Precision Sports over 10 years ago. They helped me choose the right hoop, installed it, and even painted my court lines.
Nice. How do I reach them?
Easy. PrecisionSportsOnline.com for a free quote.
It's a great time to win the ultimate Valentine's Day prize, courtesy of Welke's Milwaukee Florist. To register, go to welkesdatenight.com or the ESPN Wisconsin app and click on the contest page for your chance to win a bouquet of flowers, candles, chocolates, rose petals, a $100 gift card to Bartolotta restaurants. You can also win a Milwaukee basketball game where they take on Toronto on February 22nd. Register to win this Valentine's Day, courtesy of Welke's Milwaukee Florist through February 12th. Go to welkesdatenight.com or the ESPN Wisconsin app.
With your Saganiac Planning Marquette Recap, I'm Will Summers. The Golden Eagles celebrated National Marquette Day on Saturday with a 70-55 win over Butler. 4 out of 5 starters finished in double figures, led by senior Chase Ross, who finished with 19 points, 4 rebounds, and 5 assists.
Chase Ross, he'll try a three. Good! Chase Ross, he's doing his.
Ross knocking down some threes.
That's right.
It's a rather quick turnaround for Marquette as they will go on the road to take on Villanova on Tuesday.
For your little ones and your biggest joys, for your forever true and your fur kids too. For all the reasons you smile, get covered with dental and vision insurance from Delta Dental of Wisconsin and Delta Vision. Support your overall health so you can be your best for those who matter to you most. Call John Saganiac Jr. John Saganiac Jr., Saganiac Planning, 262-783-6161. Saganiac Planning, a name synonymous with employee benefits and top-notch service. Start your Milwaukee weight loss program now to lose weight fast. Many lose 20 to 30 pounds in a month or two. Call for your free consultation, 262-235-3980, 262-235-3980, or online at MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com.
Results may vary.
Hey, this is Gabe Neitzel. You're listening to 94.5 ESPN, WKTI and WKTI HD, Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
The 10 o'clock hour of Wilde Tausch begins now. And it begins with John Schneider winning his second Super Bowl, 11 years apart, and going to his third Super Bowl as GM with a different coach. They moved on from a legendary coach in Pete Carroll, and 2 years into the Mike
Schneider's in the Hall of Fame. Last night got John Schneider in the Hall of Fame.
Not bad for a kid from De Pere.
Yep.
But the conversation that some of our fans wanted to have and felt like should have been more of a focus of my story was that the Packers hired the wrong guy. They could have hired Elliott Wolf, who built a Super Bowl team in New England, and could have theoretically hired John Schneider. Now, as we discussed with Rob Domofsky on Friday, and as I've said before, when John Schneider first became the GM of the Seahawks in 2010, his contract was written that he had one out clause to leave for a lateral move, and that was to be the GM of the Packers, his hometown team. I believe that stayed in his contract, the second contract he got. I don't know how long each of those contracts were, as is often the case. But it was gone by 2018 when they hired Brian Gutekunst over Elliott Wolf. My question for you...
Well, actually, over Russ Ball, because you and some of your cohorts pushed and made sure.
My cohorts were Mike McCarthy and Aaron Rodgers. I was just telling you what they were saying.
I didn't know you put your sources out on the street like that.
No, that's been out
Russ
there
Ball was getting that job, and then you said, "No, we're gonna put this out there." And bam,
I didn't say no. We're not. I didn't say we're stopping this. That was I have nothing personal against Russ Ball. I was not in charge of submarining. I was just a vessel, I suppose, of the other people's opinions. But no, I didn't want him to not get the job. He would have had to talk, although.
Well, then you wouldn't have been a vessel if you didn't.
Well, if those prominent people have a strong opinion on the GM job, is it not my job to report it?
Well, why don't they put it out there then? Why did you have to?
Well, sometimes people don't want their names attached to things at the time.
Okay.
I'm sure Russ Ball was aware of who they were.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's true.
So if we could not get bogged down on Russ Ball for a moment, my question for you would be, do these folks that are, I don't want to say banging the drum, but certainly would have liked for me to focus more on the fact that these guys made it to the Super Bowl and Goody has not, do they have a point? Are we wrong to not be sitting here because those two guys took their teams to the Super Bowl yesterday, talking about how the Packers hired the wrong guy? Because that's what people wanted me to discuss.
Here's what I would say. And the NFL, for all of the flaws and some of the things that it does have that are I disagree with, there's a ton of things that I completely am on board with. And the one thing for certain is you are judged on the results. Everybody will tell you process. It's process-driven. Yep, that's all great. Your process has to get you results or your process is gone. And then you're looking for somewhere else to put that process. And the Green Bay Packers have been very good. John Schneider and the Seattle Seahawks have been better. They, for whatever reason, maybe they haven't been as consistently good, but they have been great more often. They have been great three times. They should have 3 Super Bowl rings. John Schneider should have 3. They made a big mistake. They lost. It changed the course of really probably the entire history of the NFL. Because Tom Brady, if he loses that, would have had more losses in Super Bowls, and who knows what happens. That pressure mounts. He gets that win, and all of a sudden he's freed up, and they go on and win more. So that game was a line of delineation in the history of the NFL. It's a big boy game. But the Seattle Seahawks have figured out a way under John Schneider to not only get to 3 Super Bowls, but win 2 of them, and with completely different identities and teams and coaches and quarterbacks. Whereas the Green Bay Packers have been very good, but we have not been back to a Super Bowl in what is now going on 16 seasons. So is it a fair point to bring up? Absolutely it is. Does that mean Brian Gutekunst hasn't done a good job as a GM? No, he's done a good job. Has he done a great job? John Schneider, because this is the NFL, and they will all tell you, it's about results. The results that John Schneider has gotten the Seattle Seahawks have been better than what Brian Gutekunst has gotten with the Green Bay Packers. Those are the facts, and until Goody and Matt LaFleur and Mr. Policy and Russ Ball can figure out that formula, those things aren't going to change. And it is very fair game to have that discussion of what should and what could the Green Bay Packers have done differently.
So getting John Schneider when he had a ironclad contract with the Seahawks would have required them giving up a draft pick. Would have been worth doing. Like, again, I say this, and I don't think Brian Gutekunst has done a bad job by any means. I know I get blamed or accused of being a Goody hater on this program and have been for a long time. That is not what I am. I am more critical of him than probably other people have been, and I disagree with him more often maybe than some folks have, but should they have done that? It's easy to say that now that the Seahawks have won a second Super Bowl. They went through some lean times themselves where they were not doing very well. And does that also lend credence to the idea? Now, they did change coaches, so that makes it a little bit harder to say this. But does it also lend credence to the idea of saying, no, we're going to stay the course with Goody? We believe that they can...
In fairness, Brian Gutekunst couldn't do that. If Brian Gutekunst wanted to change coaches, he didn't get that opportunity.
It's true.
John Schneider does.
It's true.
So John Schneider, as currently constituted, would never probably take the Green Bay job.
I wonder
he wouldn't take this job if he couldn't control who his coach was. He would not leave the Seattle Seahawks to take that job. And you know who else has said that many times, and including on this show? Ron Wolf. And I'm guessing Elliot Wolf probably feels the same way.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'm wrong. And by the way, Brian Gutekunst, in his heart of hearts,
feels the same way.
He probably, yes, of course they do.
Now, had they hired John Schneider in 2018 when Mike McCarthy was the coach, I would say that maybe they don't change the structure if they're hiring John Schneider and paying a draft pick to get him to come back to home. But again, the reason I'm uncomfortable with this is not for any reason other than we're playing the results game, and if the Seahawks don't make the Super Bowl, let's say they lose, they don't get the number one seed, the most important number one seed ever, and they don't make it to the Super Bowl, are we still saying, well, they should have hired Schneider instead? So but that is what happened. They did win the Super Bowl.
But that's sports. Yeah, that's sports. So I don't know what argument can you have? Like, winners get all of the attention.
Yeah.
Write the history, and that's how this works. Is it always fair? Absolutely not. It's not. But in this case, this isn't a fluke. This isn't you got lucky one season and everything fell your way. John Schneider has built great defenses. He's built Super Bowl caliber and Super Bowl winning teams. The Green Bay Packers have built Super Bowl caliber teams. They have not built a Super Bowl champion since 2010. Those are the facts.
It's true.
It's not always fair, but this is 3-0.
Yeah.
That's an onslaught in the Super Bowl era. That is an absolute drubbing if you're just going off of that. And by the way, none of these guys would just go off of that, but I also tell you this. John Schneider will be walking around, and he'll say, oh, it's process, it's this, and some things went our way. But you know what else he'll be doing? He'll have his hand up with his face, and he'll have 2 Super Bowl rings on as he's talking.
Yeah. So, all right. Did they mess up with their hire?
I think they should have looked long and hard at John Schneider in Mr. Policy's role. I don't know how exhaustive that process was.
So how would that? Because that's exactly what Homer is pushing for as well. Because as Rob Domofsky reported, John Schneider was one of the finalists, or whatever you want to call them, for the presidency. They chose Ed Policy instead. But does that mean, like, if John Schneider leaves the Seahawks to become the Packers team president, does the president then become the do they change the role of president and it becomes a football job? Because John Schneider is a great football GM. And if he comes home to Green Bay to be the team president, that's not what the president does.
I agree.
So what does that accomplish then? Does he become president / GM?
It will set a different tone for your organization. And you know what? We'll find out. That's the beautiful part about sports. And it's not, again, I want to continue to reiterate, it ain't fair that this is how it is all based, but it's the reality of a highly competitive industry like athletics. We'll find out with Mr. Policy here in the next 3 years. If you get a championship and win one, absolutely, you made the right call in keeping status quo and keeping Mr. Policy as the head honcho. If the Seahawks go on a little dynastic run and the Packers fade out, what do you think the conversation's going to be? We all know what it'll be. That's that's what making these big boy decisions. You do play the results game, whether it's fair or not.
Well, for now, Brian Gutekunst remains the GM. He has plenty of things to do this offseason. We'll get into those as we roll on here. And among them is apparently to acquire Rashid Shaheed, who, by the way, they did trade for at the trade deadline. So let's not lose sight of the fact
they don't win a Super Bowl without him.
That
they don't win a Super Bowl without him.
They made a move that was a difference maker for the result of their season. Yes, sir.
They don't win. There's not a doubt in my mind they don't win a championship without him.
Like the Packers don't win a championship if they don't keep Desmond Howard coming out of training camp, right?
Yeah, they don't win a championship without Desmond Howard.
Yeah, I agree. I'm agreeing with you.
It's not hard to. I mean, difference makers make a difference. That's why they're called difference makers.
Clip that for me, would you?
You come up with that one, or is that one he learned somewhere?
That's common sense.
Tom Moore. What
Bob
is that?
Moore.
Bob
the
Moore.
Great philosopher Bob Moore.
Those are on Fridays. I get those quotes.
Will Bob Moore be joining your Annex Wealth Management webinar, or is it?
I don't know, but I hope y'all do. You know what? We have all kinds of different things when it comes to finances, right? We don't know everything about anything. You know who does? Annex Wealth Management does. We have a big webinar coming up. I want to say it's on Thursday of this week. We're excited again. We're going to be joined by the great Dr. Jacobson on February 12th. Jason, I don't know, do you have that website for me? Do you have that website where the webinar is going to be?
I don't. I clicked on the link that I was sent the last time, and then I went and watched, and I could tweet that out if you'd like. I got to find it, though.
All right, we'll get that tweeted out. Again, it's going to be this Thursday, February 12th. Me and Doc Jacobson, there's a lot of stuff going on in the world. There's the commodities prices, inflation, all of the things that people are concerned about. And we're not experts in money, but Annex Wealth Management is. Your investments, your earnings, your money, and you want to have a pro. I've been to the Annex teams, the experts that they have. We're going to be ready to go. Again, that will be Thursday at noon with Annex Wealth Management.
I got it right here. It's events.annexwealth.com. Events.annexwealth.com.
I see
Looks
it there.
like,
I don't see your name on it here.
Yeah,
Are you sure you're invited?
I found that interesting as well.
We'll see.
I saw that.
It's always
Dr. Brian Jacobson. He's here.
Yeah,
February 12th. That's Thursday, so you got that right.
Yeah.
So we're not sure if I'm
not even in the. Now it's one thing not to put Tausch's name in the title, okay?
Sure,
but in the description, also no mention. Brian Jacobson is front and center. Joint Annex Wealth Management's Brian Jacobson, as he shares with you the perspectives of the Annex Investment Committee.
I'm getting the same vibe as when I did that panel at Bradley University, and Pablo was on it, and they promoted him. He got the emails, and then I kind of was there too. That's kind of what this is starting to feel like.
You sure the last one went well for you, old boy?
Maybe not. But I will be there, regardless of Jason and Jesse trying to denigrate me.
As an attendee, not as a moderator.
Well, I'm not the one speaking. I'm going to be asking questions. I'm not the expert, Jason. That's why we have the great team at Annex Wealth Management. They are the experts. And Dr. Jacobson, who's on Fox Business and Bloomberg and all the great stuff, he is the expert. But I have expert questions that will help guide Dr. Jacobson's conversation to help everybody else figure out their finances. Yeah. That, again, is Thursday at noon.
Yeah, it just doesn't mention you. That's all. So
that's all right.
That's all. Yep.
I can be behind the scenes. Not everything needs to be out in front.
But you're not behind the scenes. You're going to be asking the question you just told us.
Some of us, yeah. I'll ask some.
More with the moderator, Mark Tauscher, next. It's Wilde Tausch.
Wilde Tausch is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio. Kyle Bruston Nortman.
We need the final end here.
Oh, okay. Who you been, bro?
KBN.
Brian Gutekunst is going to have his best offseason of his entire career. I've been thinking about roster development lately and what Goody has in store for him. And I don't see any way this team can become a title contender unless Goody has the best offseason of his whole career.
Kyle Bruston Nortman. Afternoons from 2 to 5 on 94.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
The UW Credit Union member Mark Tauscher here. People ask me, old T, why did you join UW Credit Union? Well, is it to keep your banking local? Is it the member first service? Great perks like early payday? Absolutely. But honestly, between us, I mean, it's Bucky. I can't say no to that face. If you love Wisconsin like I do, you just can't pay with anything else. Fandom makes us do crazy things, but this just makes sense. Become a UW Credit Union member and get your Bucky card like me. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions apply.
If you're into muskie fishing, the Muskie Expo is the place to be this coming weekend, the 13th through the 15th, where you'll find an excellent assortment of everything muskies, held at the Washington County Fair Park. Find out more at muskieexpo.com.
Life's better with Drive My Way from American Family Insurance, because we know it's more than just a car. It's your escape pod, your adventure mobile, your memory maker. And we help protect the dreams that drive you. Personalize what you pay for auto insurance and you could save between 10 and 35%. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products, pricing, and availability vary based on the way you purchase insurance and by state. Unsafe driving behaviors may increase your rate. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Did you forget the first day of school is this week and little Nancy still needs her name embroidered on her backpack? Or the company shirts are due now, not next week? Maybe the boss just declared Steve's retirement party is today and the shirts are mandatory? Whatever the rush, Big Frog Custom T-shirts and more in Mequon has got you covered. With fast turnarounds, no minimums, eco-friendly printing, and high-quality custom apparel, Big Frog brings your custom ideas to life fast. Stop by Big Frog in Mequon or visit bigfrog.com/Mequon. Big Frog Custom T-shirts and more, where your ideas leap to life.
Don't think twice. Call Geist.
Don't let a busted garage door get you down. Call my friends at Geist today. For 70 years, Geist has been the trusted garage door authority in Wisconsin. With brands like CHI and LiftMaster, they have doors for every budget and will even build custom designs to get your exact needs. For swift and reliable garage repair solutions, go to geistdoors.com. That's GEIS doors.com. You can also visit their amazing showroom in Brookfield, featuring hundreds of doors and openers and their custom design room.
Don't think twice. Call Geist.
Grab the dial and crank it up, baby, because Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee is spinning its Winning Hits collection. Over the next 3 months, you could win a share of over $1 million in prizes. On top of thousands in cash and reward play, you could win one of 3 new Ford vehicles in the grand finale drawings on March 27th. Just play with your rewards card to earn entries. Press play on the Winning Hits collection, only at Potawatomi. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
Big news from Carbless. A fan favorite, and one of my favorites, Blood Orange flavor is now its own dedicated 4-pack, crafted with real spirits for a true cocktail taste. Blood Orange brings bold, citrus-forward flavor with a smooth, premium finish. 0 sugar, 0 carbs, only 100 calories, and gluten-free. Now it's even easier to stock up on the flavor everyone keeps asking for. Look for Carbless Blood Orange 4-pack at your local retailer now. Once you try it, you'll understand why Blood Orange has earned its own pack. Carbless, bold flavor in every sip. Find it near you at drinkcarbless.com.
Do you worry about how much someone drinks?
Do you feel neglected or unloved? If you answered yes to any of these questions, you are not alone.
Al-Anon and Alateen can help. Call 1-866-200-0223 or visit alanon.org/help.
You're listening to Wilde Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Super Bowl 60 is in the books. Super Bowl 61 will be in Los Angeles next year. Will the Packers be there? I don't know. But I know this. Not only do they have to improve on special teams, but as I mentioned in the 9 o'clock hour, they got to take more control of the line of scrimmage. Their defensive line has to be better against the run. They've got some changes coming in that group. And I was talking to a fan. By the way, I met Chuck yesterday at the volleyball tournament. His granddaughter was playing.
Chuck
is the guy who called and made us all, he got very emotional talking about Uke a year ago after his passing. Remember that unbelievable call? So I met him and his wife and his daughter and his granddaughter. He was great. He's a huge fan of the show. So
you
thanks
take a
to Chuck.
picture?
He didn't ask for one. So plus I'm not as photogenic as you are.
You don't have to have him. You offer it to him.
Did Boomer ask for a photo?
Yeah. And so Levi said, let's take a photo.
Did Levi ask for a photo?
Yes. I think he did, yeah.
So you didn't suggest any of the photos you're showing now in the videos?
Oh, this one. I offered this one up at the fantasy football draft. Jackrabbit Mama and everybody else there.
Yeah. No, I would have been happy to take a photo with Chuck. He did not ask. And I'm not going to, hey, you want to take a picture with me? That's not my game. But we did talk a little bit about the Packers, and one of his concerns is the offensive line and the uncertainty therein. Tausch, when we did our rankings, you had special teams at the top of your list. But do we have to have more conversation about the offensive line? Because, I don't know, Jim. We spend so much time looking at how they lost against the Bears with the 25 points they allowed in the fourth quarter. But their offensive line, when the Bears made an adjustment coming out of halftime and got after Jordan Love, their offensive line couldn't handle it. And it was one of the main reasons why their first 4 series went punt, 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 and 19 total yards of offense. Is this going to be something that you're going to be watching almost as closely as you're watching their approach to the special teams this offseason?
I think this is the major issue I'm sure that Brian Gutekunst and Matt LaFleur have with this football team because of what you just mentioned and just too much inconsistency all season. So when you're looking at how can we form this unit and get this thing going earlier so that they build and grow, because an offensive line should be one of those, especially in today's not a ton of training camp, not a ton in OTAs, guys are out. You need to see a group that is ascending by the end of the season. This group wasn't. I thought Banks got better as the season went on, but I think you can make an argument. You know, obviously Zach Tom got hurt. That was a big blow. I don't know who else I would say you would think that unit was getting better and better, and it really comes back to the run game. I know they had a hard time picking up blitzes and doing things against the Bears in that second half. I don't know how much. I think the pass protection part of it, I think this group will be okay. but it's not going to be this group. And my point on all of this is, I know you want to cross-train guys. I know you want guys to be able to play multiple spots. Jordan Morgan needs to settle in, and you need to give him every opportunity to win that left tackle spot. And if he doesn't, then he has to go and adjust. But he's going to get that opportunity. And Banks, I hope, is going to be healthy enough that they can work together, get reps, so that they're not just going out there week one against whomever they play and have to pass off stunts and everything else. That unit needs to grow together. There needs to be some cohesion. And this season, I think one of the biggest, obviously the injury to Elton. Elton wasn't playing great even when he was out there. That you just never let this group come together. And it was almost as if you had 5 independent contractors out there working, and I didn't put the wiring in. Well, I can't go ahead and do this if you don't have wiring in. You're constantly patching holes instead of building something that's going to last. And that's why this group is not going to last. They're going to mix and match it. So, yes, that is, I think, of top concern as far as what do I need to do to make this team more consistent and better? I need that group to be more consistent, more cohesive, and have guys identified in their roles so that they can grow, because last year that just didn't happen.
So does it concern you then that Brian Gutekunst, when we talked to him for nearly 40 minutes midway through last week, emphasized that he believes in cross-training and they're not going away from that?
Yeah.
Like, what's the happy medium on that? Because you've said it, right? You got to have guys that are versatile enough, because you only have 7 or 8 that are up on a game day, that you have to have guys that can play other positions if injury strikes. But is it fair to say, as a former offensive lineman yourself, that maybe they've gone a little too far in their cross-training and it has led to some diminishing returns? Is that fair or not?
Yes, and the cross-training is for guys that don't have established spots. I just think back, Chad Clifton didn't cross-train. After the first couple of years, I played right tackle. That's where I was. I did play some guard, but the guys that need to cross-train are guys that don't have a spot or you don't feel good about having as a starter. So, yeah, it's easy to sit here and say, well, you need to – did cross-training Jordan Morgan at right guard, left guard, right tackle, did that help his development? No, I don't believe it did. He is now going to be asked to play left tackle, and he's going to get back to his roots. That's where he wanted to play. Now, I agree with Goody. I'm not going to have players dictate to me where you're going to play.
No.
But I also want my players to believe that their best opportunity to earn a living and to have a great career is to play the position that we feel like fits your body type with what we're asking you to do. So Jordan Morgan out of short arms. You're hearing all this short arm talk again because of the left tackle for New England last night. I'm not interested in all that. I'm interested in how productive and how consistent can you be. So what I would hope is that you give guys opportunities, and then when you start figuring out what that shuffle is going to look like, yeah, you want competition. And if guys aren't in those starting spots, you got to bounce around. That's part of the deal. That's life in the NFL as a young offensive lineman.
Mm-hmm.
But that shouldn't be my starting center also. Well, you're also my emergency right guard. If something happens, then we're going to bring somebody else in. No, I want my center to be my center. I'm not interested in having – now, if Monk is going to be a backup, I want him really learning center, and then if you have to for a game, throw him in there at guard, he can function. But what we've seen and done the last couple of years, it just you're asking for a consistent offensive line play, but you're not really going through the process that allows them to do that. And I think that's what's happened over the last couple of seasons.
All right. I know that Jesse wanted to talk a little bit about the halftime show. I'm going to be honest with you. I found that to be a divisive topic, and I don't really want to go there. Instead, Bill Huber, our buddy at Sports Illustrated, just posted a story. 5 lessons the Packers should have learned from the Super Bowl.
I like that.
So we're going to do that instead after Tausch tells us about the Pickler and everything they've got going on over there, where now you have 2 things at noon after our show. One, you've got the webinar with Annex Wealth Management and Dr. Jacobson, and maybe with Tausch moderating. And then the other is getting over there and getting some lessons about playing pickleball.
The Pickler, Menominee Falls, that's right off Appleton Avenue down there in Menominee Falls, an indoor pickleball spot. So weather, not an excuse. Wind, and I got snow. No, built for everybody, beginners, former athletes, anybody that just wants to get out and move around a little bit more. And now they're offering free Learn to Play clinics every Monday and Saturday at noon. So we'll make sure we have you out by 11:58 so you can walk in there at noon in Menominee Falls. They're going to give you all the gear you need. You're going to get your workout. You're going to meet people. And I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. You don't know, I don't know how much of a sweat. How many steps am I going to get up? It's going to be well worth it. You're going to end up having a ton of fun, and you're going to get hooked. And you're going to be, I got to get back in there tomorrow and the next day. And then you're going to form a new family of community, and you're going to feel great about doing it. And so much so, we got a West Allis location, too. That is coming up soon. So stop in to the Pickler in Menominee Falls or contact the club directly, starting online at thepickler.com. That's PICKLR.com.
5 lessons Bill Huber thinks the Packers should have learned from the Super Bowl. We'll see how many Tausch agrees with. Next, it's Wilde Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch continues next on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
$2.3 million. A recent Schwab survey of Americans says that it takes $2.3 million to be wealthy. Well, you may have had your financial plan set on a bigger or a more humble number. But if you're looking for added insights on how to get there or how to avoid some tax pitfalls on the way, Annex Wealth Management is ready to listen. Mark Tauscher here, and whether your situation is complex or simple, the Annex Wealth Management team can give you wealth expertise and guidance on reaching your goals. Annex Wealth Management. Know the difference.
Kessler's gives you diamond choices that no one else can give you.
We have all the colors and clarities and carat weights of diamonds that come from diamond mines.
And we also have diamonds that come from plasma chambers, newborn created diamonds.
Is it time to buy an engagement ring?
Or a big anniversary diamond?
Tell them what an anniversary diamond is, Monica.
An anniversary diamond can be twice as big as the one in her engagement ring.
Why twice as big?
Every diamond makes a statement.
Okay.
The anniversary diamond says, I love you twice as much today as the day I married you.
Now tell them about our miraculous no small print warranty.
If you bought it at Kessler's, it's guaranteed.
It's just that simple.
And all maintenance is free forever.
No charge.
Yes, it really is that miraculous.
You found a partner you want to share your life with.
When you're ready to celebrate.
We've got a diamond for that.
Find the Kesslers nearest you at KesslersDiamonds.com.
Hey Tom, I want a new hoop for the kids. Any ideas?
Yeah, I got mine from Precision Sports over 10 years ago. They helped me choose the right hoop, installed it, and even painted my court lines.
Nice. How do I reach them?
Easy. PrecisionSportsOnline.com for a free quote.
Did you know Professional Construction Inc. has an in-house team of interior designers? We're excited to bring our expertise to you with our brand new virtual interior design program. Maybe you're not ready for a full construction project, but you are ready to refresh that outdated room. Our PCI design team creates stunning photorealistic renderings, a mood board, and a curated shopping list, all delivered to you in just days.
For all your construction and design needs,
visit professionalconstructioninc.com.
From the opening kickoff to the fifth quarter, through the cold, the rain, and the grind of Saturdays in Camp Randall, Badgers don't quit. It's the roar on third down, the jump around that shakes the stadium, the traditions you bring to life every game day. Badgers are in it together, and the 2026 season starts with you. Wisconsin football season tickets are on sale now. Lock in your seats for every home game at uwbadgers.com or call 1-800-GO-BADGERS. Be a part of what it means to be a Badger.
It's game day. Are your moderate to severe Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keeping you from the action? Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, could help you get back to the game. Skyrizi is proven to help people feel significant symptom relief, achieve remission, and visibly improve damage of the intestinal lining. Skyrizi is a prescription injection medicine for adults. Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines. Liver problems leading to hospitalization may occur when treated for Crohn's or ulcerative colitis. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 prescribed biologic in Crohn's and ulcerative colitis combined. Learn more at skyrizi.com or 1-866-SKYRIZI.
Prizes, flyaways, even cash money. You want it? We've got it. Find a list of all contests and official rules by visiting ESPNWisconsinContests.com.
That's ESPNWisconsinContests.com. This is Wilde Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Sponsored by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Shout out to Bill Huber. It's a really good story idea. As I tried to bring up a few lessons that were to be learned at the beginning of the show, but he executed it far better than I did. Are you ready, Mark Tauscher?
Yep.
Do we have any royalty-free music to play as a bed for this new game? 5 lessons the Green Bay Packers should learn from Super Bowl 60.
A little tired, big weekend, hosted some friends, Super Bowl party, but I was able to get in.
I assume that'll be discussed in Wonelli, right?
Yeah.
The party? I want to hear all about it.
All to say, I was able to get in here a little early today and get some special music, just in case an article like this were to surface.
Indeed it is. Could have seen that coming a million miles away. Number 1, unleash Javon Bullard. An argument could be made for Seahawks cornerback Devin Witherspoon winning Super Bowl MVP. Witherspoon, who moves into the slot in the nickel package, had 4 tackles, a sack, 3 quarterback hits, and a pass breakup. Javon Bullard is the Packers' nickel defender, Tausch. Do they need to unleash Javon Bullard more? This is a good one. I didn't even think of this. I like it a lot.
Yeah. Sure, if that's what Bill wants. Of all of the things, I'm not going to lie to you, that ain't making my top 5.
I assume he's building up to others.
That's great.
All right.
Oh, that's number 5. That's not number 1.
Well, he much like you, he has it 1 through 5, and it's just the first one he mentions. So keep reading to go further to see what else.
Yeah, I think Javon Bullard's a nice player. Do I think we're going to make him the centerpiece of the defense? Hey, maybe Bill's onto something. Maybe that is something that Gannon is going to look at doing. But I think there's other players I'd rather unleash. Now, if he is that guy, great. I would say unleash Edgerrin Cooper before I would say Bullard. But I'll let Bill go. Let Bill cook, if you will.
Just like Russ. By the way, we didn't spend enough time on this because you made the great point about that trade and how that built the foundation for their Super Bowl winning team. Do you think Goody sits back now and thinks, God, after all that tampering the Broncos allegedly did with Aaron, we should have just traded him before the 21 season and gotten that haul? Was it, or do you think he doesn't think that way?
I've seen people say that. You're not trading a quarterback that's playing at an MVP level.
Yeah, you're right.
It just wasn't going to happen.
Much easier to
though
trade
everybody
Russ
felt
at that point.
Well, Russ wasn't an MVP. Never got a vote
Right.
as an MVP. Those are just the facts.
Number 2, attack. Seattle didn't blitz, but often dominated the game with pressure. They only blitzed 13.2% of Drake May's dropbacks, but May was facing pressure on a staggering 52.8% of his dropbacks. This feels a little no blank. They got to get after the quarterback. And when they had Micah Parsons healthy, they did, and when they didn't have him, they didn't. Your thoughts?
Yeah, my thoughts literally were no blank. It felt like Zach Bond. Why don't we sign Zach Bond to a $2 million a year deal? There's no doubt when Micah got hurt,
been a good signing.
Nobody really elevated themselves in that other spot. I would argue on Bill's point here, we need to have somebody on the other side that is going to whoop on one-on-one protection. We didn't have that when Micah was healthy, at least consistently enough.
No.
Because Micah, when he gets back, whenever that's going to be, he's going to draw all of that attention again. And are we in a better spot to make sure we're maximizing that? And that's how you get pressure and disrupt quarterbacks. And that's how you win in this league, as we saw Seattle do last night.
Number 3, get a lockdown cornerback. Now, this is why this one's interesting, because it's got some no blank to it. But I didn't realize this. Somebody tweeted this at me or texted it to me. I can't remember who. The Patriots have one stud. His name is Christian Gonzalez.
Very good.
Whom the Packers could have drafted in 2023 when they took Lucas Van Ness. I believe Christian Gonzalez went 4 picks later.
He was rumored that year as a Packers player. That would make sense. I remember that.
Tausch, is this another one of the reasons why your stand-em maybe has taken a little bit of a step back when it comes to Goody? That there's a player that was there, and it wasn't like he was like a second-round pick, and you were like, well, yeah, sure, you could have picked him 12th overall or 13th overall. No, he went 4 picks later, and as Jesse points out, there was some rumbling about him being the guy that year. That's a miss, right? They could have used him big time.
We'll see how Lucas Van Ness moves along here, because that position is vital too. But there's no doubt, and I know Goody said all the right things about the cornerback position. You need an influx of talent there. And would it be nice to have a big-time shutdown corner? Yes. One of the things that I think will be interesting to watch, Keyshawn Nixon is on a deal that I don't believe he's going to be very happy with. They signed him as a return guy, and now he's playing as the number 1 corner. Whether you like it or not, that's how he's viewed.
Yeah, you're right.
And he made the Pro Bowl. He is going to want a big, fat new deal. I think there'll be some consternation how that works out. And if the Packers play hardball, which, by the way, I think I would if I was them.
Too. I agree.
I don't know how that's going to shake itself out. So that will even be of a higher priority if that is indeed how this offseason works, which, unless the Packers are willing to give Keyshawn Nixon a new contract, or at least infuse it with some added cash and incentives, I think that scenario is going to be fun from the outside to watch play out.
Number 4. I think you're going to like this one, because this one is one that I do believe you agree with wholeheartedly. Get a running back with some juice. Kenneth Walker gave them that juice. They probably wanted.
He's a free agent.
And if we're being honest, they probably wanted Marshawn Lloyd to be their juice man, right? Unfortunately, he's been their injured guy instead. Played 1 game and got hurt in it during his time in Green Bay. So how much of a get a juice guy running back, as Bill says he believes that Josh Jacobs will almost certainly be back. Again, I think he's probably right. I feel like he is extremely important on a number of levels for this team. But getting a running back who delivers what Marshawn Lloyd was supposed to. And maybe it's still Marshawn Lloyd, right? Maybe he's due to stay healthy after what he's been through. How important is this on your to-do list?
I think a home run hitter back there would be a big difference maker because, as we've seen, and with Watson being back next year, you're going to see teams, I would say, do just what the Carolina Panthers did. Play two safeties deep and just say, we don't think you're going to be patient enough to run the football. We're not afraid of you gashing us. So if you bust off a couple 10, 12-yard runs, we can live with it. But we're going to force you into doing that. And the way you get people out of that is by having a home run hitter, by having someone that is able to get big chunk plays like Seattle did last night. And then that sets you up for some plays over the top. And that's where defenses are. And especially with Jordan Love as your quarterback, he wants to take shots. Having a home run hitter back there, I think, is very important. And I would be shocked if you don't need to go out and spend a bunch of money in free agency. There's a lot of really good backs that are 3rd, 4th round picks, 5th round picks that can come in and do that. I think that's the way Green Bay will probably be going.
And finally, number 5, Bill calls it go for it. No general manager makes more personnel moves than Seattle's John Schneider. He's added players at the last 3 trade deadlines: Leonard Williams, Ernest Jones IV, and Rashid Shaheen. They all had big roles in getting to the Super Bowl. Jones recorded a team-high 11 tackles on Sunday. The Patriots spent $364 million on outside free agents. I saw a statistic during the game that they had 30 players on their roster that were in their first year with the Patriots this year. Do you think that this is another fair critique of Goody? He went and traded for Micah Parsons. That's a going for it move. Does this mean more of that or no?
No. I mean, if you believe in your guys, I do think going out and picking up a difference maker, whether it's a return guy or a corner, you have to be very selective because there's going to be some bills coming due that you're going to want to pay. And Green Bay is always going to be draft and develop, and when they don't, they have to go pay big boy bills. And I think one of the reasons that I am a little bit more down on Goody is some of these drafts have not yielded the players that he is going to extend and bring back for a second contract. We need more of that. We need more guys that are going to be valued enough to pay in the second part of their career. That's where you really start getting optimal top-end play. You're going to see it with Tucker Kraft. You know he's going to get an extension. Watson, I believe, will get a big boy extension if he can stay healthy for next year. Then it comes down to who are those other guys that you got to have. And when I start looking at the list, who else is on that list?
Yeah, you're right. Not
what
many.
other draft picks are you, oh, my God, we got to keep? They did it with Zach Tom. Great. They did it with Jordan Love. Great. Who else is on that list? Is it any of the corners? Evan Williams would be a guy that you're going to want to keep, but I think you got another year before you got to worry about that.
Yep, he'll be in his 3rd season.
Edgerrin Cooper got a couple years. I think at least one more year before you worry about that.
Same draft, yep.
Devontae Wyatt is a big-time question mark as far as what you're going to do. He's very talented. Lucas Van Ness, you're not going to pay him if you're going off of what you've seen so far. And if you're not going to do that, then you have to go, and what Bill said, go for it. When you go for it, though, we've seen this movie with Aaron Banks and with Hobbs. He's had success with some of the other guys. Last year was not. And that's a risky game that I think you want to stay out of unless you have to. And maybe Goody will have to do more of that than maybe he would want.
All right, those are Bill's lessons. You can read that on SI's Packers page. Let's play some trivia. Jesse, is it a Super Bowl recap or a sports weekend recap?
It is a sports weekend recap, excluding the Super Bowl. Sports going on other than the Super Bowl. There was some significant stuff that went on this weekend in and around the sports world. So the sports weekend recap, excluding the Super Bowl, today's trivia category.
Are there any Olympics questions? I haven't watched any Olympics yet.
No, there are not. No Olympics questions included in this.
All right, caller 12 right now to celebrate the Seahawks 12s, what they call their fans. Caller 12 right now, 844-770-3776. 844-770-3776. Caller 12 plays Wilde Tausch Trivia, presented by Iron Jock and Cousin Subs. Next, it's Wilde Tausch.
This is Wilde Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance. The Homer Hour with special guests every day from 5 to 6.
The Packers also got a defensive coordinator.
I like the hire. I think he's proven. He's coached high-level defenses, ones that went to the Super Bowl.
The best 60 minutes of your day happens on the Homer Hour.
It'll be interesting to see what he brings from a schematic standpoint. Ran a lot of 3 down. This team just got rebuilt to be a 4-down team.
Weekday afternoons from 5 to 6 on 94.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
There's never been a better time to experience Pella in person and get all your questions answered. Join us at the NARI Spring Home Improvement Show, February 13th through the 15th at Wisconsin State Fair Park. Book your in-home consultation at the show and receive a free DesignWorks rendering. Rest easy with Pella's 10-year limited warranty and get 0% interest for up to 48 months. Set your free in-home consultation at PellaWI.com.
My husband's an animal in bed.
Well, you know.
Not in the fun way. Think warthog. With a chainsaw.
Snoring and sleep apnea affect over 90 million people, and 1 out of 4 couples sleep in separate rooms. Advent can help. We've been Milwaukee's one-stop solution for nasal congestion, snoring, and sleep apnea for over 20 years. Unlike many other practices, we focus exclusively on these conditions, so you get comprehensive care under one roof. Advent's unique approach can help you breathe and sleep better, and many avoid a CPAP. Plus, most insurance is accepted for our effective 20-minute in-office treatments.
Hey, the only animal you want in your bed is your dog.
Advent. Sleep better. Sleep together. Learn how you can improve your life at adventknows.com.
All Brewers tickets for the 2026 season are on sale Thursday, February 12th. This year, it all kicks off at our house with opening day at home, followed up with a schedule that's absolutely loaded. Throw in the same flair for the dramatic thrills on any given night. Plus Brewers giveaways you won't forget. And you've got a season you're going to have to see to believe. Don't miss a second of Brewers action this year. The crew is back for more starting February 12th at Brewers.com.
At Saturn Lounge, we know if your marketing actually worked, you would know. Your website would perform. Your storytelling would inspire. Your campaigns would deliver leads that become sales. You wouldn't need a report to tell you. Visit SaturnLounge.com today. When marketing works, it shows.
At Ewald Automotive Group, we believe in life, liberty, and the pursuit of lower payments. That's why we're giving you $1,500 over book value for your trade. Get into a new vehicle with payments starting under $250 a month. Over 1,400 vehicles backed by our low price guarantee. $1,500 more for your trade. Payments starting under $250. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of lower payments. Based on Kelley Blue Book Fair Trade Value. Applies to 2013 or newer model years. Payment offer on select vehicles with approved credit. Expires month end.
Selling your home during winter may surprise you. Serious buyers are still out there and often more eager to move.
Homes get strong offers this time of year, and with less competition, your listing can really shine.
I'm Tony Wendorf with Tony Wendorf & Associates, powered by Keller Williams.
And I'm Lindsay Bendler. Our team leads with faith, gratitude, and giving back, donating over $200,000 to local causes since 2020.
Tony Wendorf & Associates is ready to get to work for you with our white glove selling experience. Just search online, Tony Wendorf.
A real estate team that always leads with faith and gratitude.
Tony Wendorf & Associates.
Start your Milwaukee weight loss program now to lose weight fast. Many lose 20 to 30 pounds in a month or two. Call for your free consultation. 262-235-3980. 262-235-3980 or online at MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com.
Results may vary. You're listening to Wilde Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Free version of Boston. I love it. Does it sounds just like them. It doesn't cost us a penny. I was on YouTube over the weekend watching some of the Saturday Scramble, and I think they played some Bad Bunny as Pablo calls him with the correct pronunciation, and they had a muted on YouTube, even though we pay for those rights on the radio. And it's interesting to do that. It's interesting to kind of be watching on the YouTube stream and not hear that music. They're dancing. Him and Riley were dancing. It was fun. You know what else is fun? Trivia, presented by Iron Jock and Cousin Subs.
Wilde and Tausch Trivia is brought to you by Iron Jock, performance apparel that actually performs. No stink, just performance, and proudly Wisconsin built. Shop now at ironjock.com. And by Cousin Subs. Roses are red, strawberries are too. The chocolate strawberry shake is calling you. Try it at Cousin Subs.
Let's welcome in our contestant. It is Lee in Cottage Grove. Lee, good morning. Welcome to Wilde and Tausch. How you doing?
Good morning. I'm doing well. Thank you.
All right. Here is the trivia category. Again, is the Sports Weekend Recap. I'm going to be honest with you. Number 3, I missed this story. And it's interesting to me. I want to know more about it. So we'll get to that. But first, question 1, Lee, is this. Both the Wisconsin men's and women's basketball teams played games that went to overtime over the weekend. What were the results of those games? Is it that both Badgers teams won, both Badgers teams lost, or both games were on Peacock so they don't count in Tausch's record book?
I believe both teams lost.
Indeed. Certainly Gardo's did, as we discussed with him.
Overtime loss for the women at home against number 24 Washington also. Tough one.
Lee, question 2 is this. Don't look now, but the Milwaukee Bucks have won 3 in a row. And the Bucks signed free agent guard Cam Thomas, who has averaged more than 21 points per game in the last 3 seasons, playing for which team that waived him after the NBA trade deadline? I guess that's an upgrade from Nigel Hayes-Davis. Was it the Memphis Grizzlies that waived Cam Thomas, the Toronto Raptors, or the Brooklyn Nets?
I really don't know. I'm just going to go with Memphis.
Oh, no.
Sorry.
No sleep till Brooklyn.
The Brooklyn Nets. Why they? If he's averaging 21 points a game, why are you moving on from him?
They're tanking.
They're trying to keep Giannis in Milwaukee. Brooklyn
nice
has
of
got a
them.
conspiracy to keep. Yeah, it's nice of them. This was
Shams
an
asked him to do
anti-Shams
it.
trade. It was an anti-Shams trade.
All right, question 3. Let's bounce back here. As I mentioned, this is really interesting. I didn't know this. Question 3, Lee, is this. Reports surfaced over the weekend and were made official this morning that which FCS college football powerhouse
I love this story.
is making the jump to the FBS level as the newest member of the Mountain West Conference in 2026. Is that previously FCS program Montana, North Dakota State or Idaho?
Wow. I'll try North Dakota State.
I was going to give you a hint, but I'm not allowed to. Indeed! Christian Watson's alma mater now moving up to the FCS. Why do you love this story, Tausch?
Well, guess what conference they're going to?
The Mountain West.
Yeah, guess who's out there?
Eck.
Yeah, Lobos.
How do I do the, how do I do the Lobo thing?
Woo!
Woo! We'll see how the Bison fare.
Bows up.
Lee, you got 2 out of 3, which ain't bad. That means you got 3 of the possible 4 entries into our drawing on Friday. Thanks for playing, buddy. We appreciate you.
All right, thank you very much.
That is Wilde and Tausch Trivia, presented by Cousin Subs and by Iron Jock. We'll get to the 11 o'clock hour where we will discuss what Ad Policy, Mr. Policy, wrote in Policy's Perspective, his monthly column.
It needs a rebrand.
Packers.com.
We gotta figure out a better name
start
for
getting
it.
creative for a title.
I agree.
That starts the 11 o'clock hour in 2 minutes. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Mark Tauscher here for Iron Jock. As a former athlete, I've worn just about every type of workout gear there is, and nothing compares to Iron Jock. Their performance apparel is built to fight sweat, odor, and bacteria, keeping you feeling fresh no matter how hard you push. From the gym to the pickleball court, Iron Jock keeps you dry, comfortable, and confident. And from now through February 10th, our listeners get 40% off all Iron Jock orders over $50 with the code SUPER40. Iron Jock helps you look good, smell good, and keep showing up. Shop now at ironjock.com.
In 1987, the Bucks took on the world and changed basketball forever.
At stake, basketball supremacy in the United States.
Bucks versus the World, narrated by Charlie Behrens, is the new season of Behind the Bucks podcast, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. It's the untold story of the 1987 McDonald's Open, when the Bucks became the first NBA team to face the Soviet Union. Listen now on Bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and wherever you get podcasts.
40,000 people. Let that number sink in for a second. That's not a crowd, that's a small city. But they chose relief without surgery. 40,000 people who said stop before replacing their knee or hip. There has to be another way. And they found that at QC Kinetics. Hey, it's Brad Nortman. It's those 40,000 patients who thought that they were out of options and surgery was the only answer. But today, they're moving better, hurting less, and getting their lives back thanks to QC Kinetics and their advanced regenerative treatments. The truth is, surgery isn't always the answer. QC Kinetics and Dr. Ashley Caravelli is right here in Milwaukee, using safe, natural treatments backed by real science. Treatments that activate your body's natural healing powers. Safe, natural, and non-surgical. And this is critical. The sooner you start, the faster the inflammation will ease. So it's important to get started now. 40,000 people can't be wrong. Before you say yes to surgery, call QC Kinetics for your free consultation. Call now at 414-240-2298. That's 414-240-2298. 414-240-2298.
Hey, this is Jen Latta. You're listening to 94.5 ESPN, WKTI, and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
The 11 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch begins now, and we're going to play a round of Take It to the Bank. It's been a while. It's been a while since we played Take It to the Bank. But that's coming up.
It's been so long I forgot we need new music for it until just now.
Oh, no.
Whoops.
Oh, no. Well, you've got some time because everyone inside Lambeau Field is more committed than ever to bringing a Lombardi Trophy home, writes Ed Policy in his monthly first Saturday of the month column on Packers.com. he also says that both he and Matt LaFleur were, quote, excited to extend his contract, and that he has, quote, worked closely with Matt for more than 7 years, which is why the decision was, quote, based on firsthand knowledge of that 7-year body of work. Now, Tausch, you know I love to read on the radio, and
you do.
I'm going to do that. For those that did not see this on Packers.com, I am extremely optimistic and confident in our football leadership, Brian, Matt, and Russ, and their ability to get the right people in the right places for us to compete for our ultimate goal, a Super Bowl championship. It goes without saying our season didn't end the way we wanted, but the season only ends the way you want it to for one team. That's the business. I spent substantial time in the weeks following the season with our football leaders, ensuring we are all aligned in purpose and communicating clearly and directly. I firmly believe we have the right people and a solid process for success, and everyone in our organization will continue striving tirelessly to develop and support a championship caliber team. As for Matt LaFleur, he wrote, Matt is a teacher first and foremost, as all great coaches are. He comes from a family of teachers, growing up watching both his parents teach and coach. I've been especially impressed with his ability to develop talented individual players into a cohesive, winning team. His work with quarterbacks is unparalleled around the league. Our players love playing for Matt, and I assure you, coaches like Matt are not easy to find in the National Football League. I've heard some of the same negativity you have coming out of the disappointing loss to the Bears, and I understand it. I appreciate how deeply our fans care about the success of our team. They hold us to very high expectations, and I wouldn't want it any other way. We're going to continue to do everything we can to meet those expectations. Finally, football is an emotional game, and I understand the high emotions that go into a playoff game against our longest-held rival. However, in my seat, you must rise above emotions and analyze objectively an entire body of work to make a long-term decision that puts the team in the best position to compete for Super Bowls year in and year out. That's the process I went through following the season. Candidly, over the years, I've grown to appreciate ownership groups that built dynasties through level-headed, steadfast continuity in lieu of emotional chaos. I can tell you, in talking with people in the building after Matt LaFleur's extension and them seeing the negative reaction to it, that there were some feelings that maybe that needed to be rebuked a bit by the team president. And I thought this was a pretty strong, thank you for your passion, but we really do believe that this is the right decision.
Mm-hmm.
What do you make of Ed Policy, Mr. Policy's words there, Tausch?
I think there's almost everything in there I agree with. You don't make make big decisions based on emotion. The emotion would have said, I can't see him coming back in this locker room, or you need to make a leadership change, whatever it might look like. So I understand all of that. You also have to understand the fans' point of view, but you don't make decisions based on that. You hear them, and I think Policy did a good job of at least letting you feel like he is listening. But it is his job to say, are we on the right track? There's going to be plenty of fans that don't think we are. I would disagree. I think that this team is trending. When your quarterback is trending the right way like Jordan Love is, that is a huge deal. Defensively, it was not pretty once Micah went out. But even in those games, if you start looking at how they played, Baltimore is a complete outlier. I am not looking at that. You should. I'm not. I get that. But Matt LaFleur, I do think, is a good football coach. But there's some holes. And how are you going to address that and get better? That really is the question, because you're talking about dynastic tendencies and things that he's looking for. We haven't been there. We haven't been there in 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
So fans should voice their displeasure. I love the fact he's not running from any of that. And I do agree there has been a lot of rebuking of this contract and the fact we didn't hear anything for 2 weeks. And I do want my leadership to be out in front and explaining why you made the decisions that you did, and then you're going to live with those decisions. And all of these guys, they're going to be judged on this next 2 and 3 years of the Micah Parsons window, Jordan Love into his elevator years, Tucker Kraft, all of these things. This 2 and 3 year window is going to be, we made the right decision or we didn't. And that's going to be completely results-based. And again, as we said with John Schneider earlier, it's not always fair, but that's the reality of this business. And Mr. Policy said it the best. There is only one team that is happy. New England is miserable today. Mm-hmm. The Denver Broncos are miserable today because they're probably looking at saying, ugh, we would have won a championship if we didn't. Whether that's true or not, that's how they feel. And I believe with the way Mr. Policy went about his decision-making, he believes that and definitely heard it in Goody's voice, even though he was also realistic in the fact that we finished with a whimper. He believed that if this team was healthy, we would have beaten Seattle and we would have went on to a Super Bowl. Otherwise, you don't make the decisions that the Green Bay Packers made. And that's where we sit, and that's where this thing starts as, while I believe you better focus on winning the division and chasing that 1 seed, this is championship or bust. This group of men have had a runway, and now it is all about winning a championship. Nothing else matters in Green Bay, and fans hold them to that standard, and they want to be held to that standard. In this 2 or 3 year window, it is going to be a very loud standard that they're going to be held to.
Yeah, I would say this because I've heard you bring this up a few times. I was wrong about Ed Policy. On the way back from Chicago, given the way they lost and given the fact that his dad, he didn't fire Bill Walsh. They pushed him out the door, though, in San Francisco. Not so gently nudged him out the door. When I said that I have a hard time picturing him being back, it was because I thought Ed Policy, as the new sheriff in town, was going to fire him and keep Goody. That was what I thought was going to happen based on the way they lost that game. Ed was sitting like 6 seats down from me in the press box next to Goody. And to your point, Goody spends a hell of a lot more time with Ed, right? During the game, Matt LaFleur's a little busy. He's coaching. So he's not sitting there next to Ed and able to say, hey, well, this is why I did this and this is why I did that. And I thought that they would move on from him. And that did not occur. And I think Ed Policy did a fantastic job of explaining on the record, since he hasn't spoken on the record to us since this decision. I thought he did a very good job of articulating his reasoning. But again, we have seen in the NFL, and look, let's also acknowledge he could be wrong, right? He could be wrong.
Yes.
Maybe the right play was to fire Matt LaFleur. I don't think it would have been, but that's what I thought he would do. And he didn't. Maybe this all turns out great. And a year from now, we're having this conversation about how, we just traveled back from Los Angeles where we were at the Super Bowl at Radio Row all week and covering the games and everything else. Or maybe not. But we could be here 2 or 3 years down the road. They still haven't made it to a Super Bowl, and we have a new GM and a new head coach that we're talking about. I really did think in the immediate aftermath of that game that they were going to make a change because of the way they lost, because of the way they finished the season, because, I don't know if you think this, Tausch. Again, I feel like I know Ed okay. We're not, like, having lunch all the time or whatever. But I thought maybe the new sheriff in town would decide I'm going to put my stamp on this. We're going to change coaches. He didn't do that. He certainly had the opening to do so, though. based on the way they lost. And so
I think
now,
Matt LaFleur was nervous that he was. I think Matt LaFleur was nervous.
I agree.
After that game.
And rightfully so.
Yeah.
I mean, up 21-3 at the half and everything. Like, when I said that was not me advocating for firing him, although it may have been depicted that way on social media. My point is that Ed Policy, and I said this the next day, or whenever he made the choice, I think he did the harder thing. The harder thing is to defend the decision to keep the coach. The easy thing that the fan base is going to be happy about, fans always, not all of them, they're not all one mind, but when you fire the coach, usually it's pretty popular, right? Usually the frustrated fans, the loud fans, yeah, we're doing something. And he didn't do that. And to me, that was easier in terms of at least from the public reception to his decision. Now, I do think it's important to point out that we did some polling and Huber did some polling, and it's only social media, I get it. But, it does feel like that roughly 30% of fans who wanted to get rid of Matt LaFleur, that means 3 out of 10 people, right? So that means the vast majority are okay with or are happy that Matt LaFleur is still the coach. At least that's how they voted. So he's going to have an opportunity to prove that it was the right decision. And again, now we're already seeing, though, what was that, 3 weeks ago now? That came out 2 weeks ago? That he was getting his extension officially. Now the frustration is that the only changes that are occurring on his staff are ones that were forced by people choosing to leave, whether they're choosing to become the head coach of the Dolphins or choosing to join the head coach of the Dolphins or choosing to be the offensive coordinator in Philly like Sean Mannion, and that there's been no changes, as far as we know, that have been, I'm firing you, I don't want you here anymore. And I think there's a frustration in some portions of the fan base about that. We talked about this with Rob Domofsky on Friday. I did think the way the offensive line had its struggles, I did think that Luke Butkus was not going to be back. And there's no reason to think he's leaving now based on where we're at. Right. So that's the one thing that I guess has surprised me a bit. Where do you stand on all this?
Well, I just kind of went over all of it.
More from a coaching standpoint, a full coaching staff standpoint.
Yeah, I thought there should be changes. I don't know how you can look at what has been done on special teams and say we're just going to run this back. I don't know how you can do that. As far as offensive line goes, it hasn't been good enough. So, again, you're going to be judged on that. If your groups don't get better, eventually it comes back to you. So you're going to, as a coach, always do what you feel is best. It's going to sometimes be hard and difficult. And I do wonder how, often Matt LaFleur, I think it's really hard. You've said this many times. I think it's really difficult for him to let go of people. And that's human nature. It is hard. But in this business, you have to, if you know or believe that you can be better than what you've been. So everybody has the right to have a bad year and some bad games. That happens. It's a tough business. But I don't know, while everybody says all the right things, the results haven't added up to where you'd think it's going to be different this year. So as far as that part of it goes, it would, your point on Mr. Policy keeping Matt LaFleur, it's 100%. It was the hard thing to do. Because there was everybody, especially 2 days, that Saturday night, Sunday, and into Monday, everybody was coming for him. And then as time goes, and that's why you don't make emotional decisions, you let this play out, and he looks at his track record and believes. And I'm telling you, I believe that operation up there felt as if we were healthy, we would be where we want to be. Because if not, I don't think all of them would have kept their jobs.
Well, we will see if it turns out to be the right decision or the wrong decision. But, again, I thought Ed Policy, I don't know what his writing background is. I know he has a law degree, but I thought it was really well.
I think he uses ChatGPT at all when he's writing that?
No, I don't.
Not at all?
Nope.
Okay.
What's in Ed's head?
You've spent the last 18 minutes trying to come up with a new name for his column. That seems longer. What about just in Ed's head?
Off the top of Ed's head.
I don't think it.
Here's
I don't
what
think
Ed
it's,
said.
Yeah.
Steady Eddie.
I don't think he goes by Eddie.
He should.
I think you could go off of like TED Talks. Just go Ed Talks.
Oh, Ed Talks is good. I like Ed Talks.
So then would he do it as more of a video then, or would he still continue to do it as a column?
Video is what killed the radio star, if you guys all remember that.
I feel like video has augmented these radio stars with our YouTube.
Get him on a stage with a PowerPoint behind him for a little Ed Talk once a month. He doesn't have to do like
That's what he
5
should do.
questions. Just one thing off the top of his head.
No, I think it's getting 2 or 3. You get 2 or 3, and you could hit on different topics. But yeah, have it as like an Ed Talk. This month's Ed Talk.
It's a pretty good idea. We will not have an Ed or a TED Talk. We will play Take It to the Bank, presented by Associated Bank next. After I tell you about Gruber Law Offices, I was watching Good Morning America this morning, and then they have the local portion of the program where they throw back to the Green Bay affiliate of ABC here in Green Bay. And then I saw a David Gruber and Gruber Law Offices commercial, and I thought it was great. Because what he says in there is essentially what I like to say, which is hopefully you never have to make the call, and then one call, that's all. But what he says is, we're here if you need us. And if you don't, we'll be around. And they are. They're everywhere, right? They're at Brewers games, Bucks games. They're partners with all the great sports teams. More importantly, they care about the same causes that you care about, and they support them as well. But if you do need them, they are there. One call, that's all. If you've been injured, 414-276-6666, 414-276-6666, Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all. We make a call to Associated Bank for Take It to the Bank. Next, it's Wilde Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch continues next on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance. All the antics.
We had the same situation when I played with Holmgren.
You okay?
I almost broke my chair.
Yeah, you almost fell out of your chair there.
All the action.
Micah Parsons is healthy, and if Tucker Kraft is healthy, the Packers are in that Super Bowl. I think that they would have run through the NFC. I think they beat Seattle. I think that they are the NFC representative in that game.
The best of both worlds lives right here. Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 9 on 94.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
Your taste buds are in luck. The Reuben is back at Cousin Subs. Try this classic sub grilled to order just for you. Stacked with corned beef, Wisconsin Swiss cheese, and sauerkraut topped with Thousand Island dressing and served on rye bread. And our delicious mint shake is back. Both the Reuben and mint shake can be ordered via the Cousins app or online for a limited time only. Cousin Subs. We believe in better.
What's better than cheering for the Packers with an ice-cold beer in your hand? Cheering for the Packers with an ice-cold beer in your hand that you got for 10% off. And when you get Packers checking from Associated Bank, you get even more. Like 10% off food and 10% off drinks on game day. Like that ice-cold beer in your hand. Plus 15% off Pro Shop gear. Only with Packers checking. Associated Bank. Bank of the Packers. Learn more at associatedbank.com/Packers. Member FDIC.
All Brewers tickets for the 2026 season are on sale Thursday, February 12th. This year, it all kicks off at our house with opening day at home, followed up with a schedule that's absolutely loaded. Throw in the same flair for the dramatic thrills on any given night. Plus Brewers giveaways you won't forget. And you've got a season you're going to have to see to believe. Don't miss a second of Brewers action this year. The crew is back for more starting February 12th at Brewers.com.
$2.3 million. A recent Schwab survey of Americans says that it takes $2.3 million to be wealthy. Well, you may have had your financial plan set on a bigger or a more humble number. But if you're looking for added insights on how to get there or how to avoid some tax pitfalls on the way, Annex Wealth Management is ready to listen. Mark Tauscher here, and whether your situation is complex or simple, the Annex Wealth Management team can give you wealth expertise and guidance on reaching your goals. Annex Wealth Management. Know the difference.
There's never been a better time to experience Pella in person and get all your questions answered. Join us at the Neary Spring Home Improvement Show, February 13th through the 15th at Wisconsin State Fair Park. Book your in-home consultation at the show and receive a free Design Works rendering. Rest easy with Pella's 10-year limited warranty and get 0% interest for up to 48 months. Set your free in-home consultation at PellaWI.com.
Without an Advent clinic nearby, people suffering needlessly from chronic nasal congestion and sinus infections would be stuck with either Band-Aid or Sledgehammer solutions. Band-Aids are pills or nasal sprays, and they're not true solutions. Surgery is a sledgehammer, and that's what we're trying to avoid. Because most people don't need surgery for nose and sinus issues, nor do they want a 14-day recovery. Our unique Advent approach can, in 20 minutes in our office, open your blocked nose for good, with only 1-day recovery. I'm Advent founder Dr. Kandula. Outside of Advent's four walls, invasive surgery is what they'll recommend. But here you will find effective and convenient in-office solutions to help you stop the need for Band-Aids and avoid the sledgehammer.
Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. Most insurance accepted.
This is Wilde Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, sponsored by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
So I'm being told by sources close to the program that Jesse still has not conjured up some music for Take It to the Bank. And I don't want to play Take It to the Bank without music. Associated Bank is one of our best partners. They deserve high quality production value.
Yeah, they do.
So stepping into the breach is a caller, Alan from Los Angeles. We still tell you about Associated Bank and how great they are after he completes his call. But we'll save Take It to the Bank for later in the week when Jesse's got more time to put together what he needs musically from our vast library.
I don't know.
Of royalty-free music.
We're going to be dog sitting for another 2 weeks. A different dog that I don't know if I'm going to have. I don't know, like this dog. I don't know anything about this dog that we're going to be dog sitting. It's a very strange situation that we're stepping into.
Why are you dog sitting again?
Becca volunteered to and didn't think that we'd actually be taken up on the offer.
Does she ask you, or does she just do it?
This one I think originated as kind of an empty, like, oh, we can watch the dog for you. It's kind of a nice little, if you're in a pinch, we can. Then
sure.
Turns out they actually say, yeah, that'd be great. So we got a new dog.
That's
for 2
the
weeks.
danger.
Yeah.
That's the danger of doing that.
Where are these friends in the tieredom?
They are untiered. It's one of Becca's coworkers. So we're watching one of her. We're watching one of her coworkers' dogs.
So do you even know these people?
No, I've never met them. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. You got a new dog? Come on over, Tausch. Play with Mo and. I forgot the name of the new dog.
You don't even know the name of the dog.
I don't know what time we're getting the dog. I don't know how long we're actually keeping the dog. I don't know anything about the dog.
When you get banned from places, you get bummed. This is one of those cases I'm not bummed that Becca banned me from your house after showing your inside of your freezer. So I can't, unfortunately. Or I'd love to. But the banning
tomorrow night, watch the Wisconsin-Illinois game on Peacock and hang out with our
great
dog I don't know the name of.
Yeah, we won't be there.
Jesse, let's get to Alan's call.
Oh, yeah.
As much as I could feel like we got a preview of Wonelli before Wonelli arrived. Alan, good morning. Welcome to Wilde Tausch. Thanks for rescuing us from Jesse's lack of production quality for Take It to the Bank. What do you got for us?
Oh, thank you, Jason. I just wanted to thank you and Tausch and the whole group there for a great season. You guys have become part of my daily routine out here in L.A., much to my wife, who sometimes rolls her eyes while she's reading the paper, and I have you guys on YouTube and listening to you over my coffee. So you guys did a great job, and I really appreciate you. What I did want to say is, in listening to Tausch's kind of mini epistle on the future of the Packers, and I've been listening to you guys all year, and I really appreciate the thoughtfulness and the insight. The thing that bothers me about the Packers now is LaFleur making no changes, or apparently to this time making no changes on the offensive staff, when it's obvious that, to me anyway, that this is something that needs to be done. And because I live out here in L.A. and I used to live in San Diego, even though my Packer lineage goes back to the Ray Nitschke days, I see what Jim Harbaugh has done here. Now, he does not want to waste his premier quarterback, and he and Greg Roman have been like close friends, close colleagues for 25 years. And after the Chargers didn't do anything in the playoffs again, I think they scored a field goal and they got blown out by Texas the Air. He replaced Greg Roman, who's his good friend, because he felt that was the right thing to do for the team. And I just don't see Matt LaFleur, who I think is a good coach, and he's certainly, from what I can tell, a good person. But I don't see that ability to put the team ahead of personal loyalty to people who are friends. And there's a lot of things like where you guys have said about Bisaccia. Well, he's really liked in the building. Well, why is it so important to be liked? Was Mike Holmgren worried about being liked? I mean, to me, if you're in the business that I've been in, the business of being a football coach, if your main concern is being liked, you're in the wrong business and you ought to get out and do something else. And I always remember, as an old Navy guy, I worked for an admiral one time who was very smart, and he said, remember something. Sometimes dedication is measured in varying degrees of fear. And that doesn't mean that a coach has to be General Patton or even the predecessor. I mean, the Vince Lombardi approach obviously is not going to work in 2026, but it's more important to be respected. And I think there has to be in the back of the people who report to you, a results-based type of thing that, you know, I gotta produce. And I just wonder if Matt LaFleur has that in his DNA, because I think, Jason, to your point that you've made many times, he needs somebody with new ideas. You can't just keep running something back that doesn't work. And so that concerns me. That concerns me because it looks like offensively, with the exception of a few people who have left for other opportunities or other reasons, he's running the same thing back with the same people. And so why do we expect different results? So with that, again, thank you guys. You guys the Packers might not have had a great year, but you guys have had a great year, and you really become part of my routine. And I mean that sincerely. I appreciate that, and you know, I appreciate you. Before you go, best Steve McQueen film and best Robert Redford film ever. Robert Redford, I'm going to go obscure. There's a movie called Tell 'Em Willie Boy is Here, which is a Western, and he plays a very un-Robert Redford, unglamorous guy, and it was directed by a guy named Abe Polonsky, who was in the OSS during World War II and got blacklisted because he told the House of Un-American Activities what they could do with their committee. And it's a very good film. It was after Abe got kind of rehabilitated, made in 1969, and it has Robert Blake in it playing an Indian based on a true story. Very, very good film. Steve McQueen, my wife's in love with him. He's been a rival of mine intrinsically for years as we watch reruns of Wanted Dead or Alive. But I would have to go with Bullet. I would have to go with Bullet.
Yes. All right.
And a very quick sidebar on Bullet. This shows you how the movie industry changed. The Steve McQueen's partner and Steve McQueen, when he became the shiny new thing in the 60s, Jack Warner gave him an office, gave him all this money, and said, make movies for me, kid. And so Steve McQueen looked at scripts for over a year, and finally his partner said, Steve, we got to make a freaking movie. Everyone's getting impatient. So they took a book, and I'm having a junior moment. I can't remember the title, but it's the detective story that Bullet was based on. He goes to see Jack Warner, and this is how a movie like Bullet got greenlit. He goes to see Jack Warner, and he says, Jack, we're going to make this movie, and it's the cop book, blah, blah, blah. So Warner says, McQueen, a cop? He goes, well, Jack, it's edgy. He's different. He's going to be conflicted and all that. He goes, okay, how much? $8 million. Can you give it to me by November? Yeah. He said, one thing I want you to do, I'm doing a charity dinner. Can you and Steve sit on the dais next Sunday with me? Sure. Okay, go make your movie. That was how Bullet got made.
Alan, we appreciate you. Thanks.
All right.
So, a little behind the scenes, Alan and I have been friends for a long time. He's been supportive of our show for a really long time. He knows so much about movies. It's ridiculous. He knows almost as much as Tausch knows about the Packers and offensive line play. He's phenomenal at that. And he's got a bunch of books published, etc. Tausch, to his point about Matt LaFleur.
You guys should do like a movie Digi only. YouTube.
We could. We definitely could.
You should.
We're not going to pay him.
You guys, when you guys have conversations, are you both as long-winded as each other? And how long does that?
I literally looked up. He started at 9:38, and he did not stop till 9:42.
If each of you asked each other a question, you'd be there half an hour.
11:38. I don't know why my computer is on.
Do you have an issue with your
time.
Computer? By the yeah, did we go back in time? Do we have two more hours to do?
No, thank God we don't.
You can call Alan back.
Well, Alan will fill it. We could for surely that's the case. Alan brings up a lot of, I think, really good points. I'm not a Steve McQueen. That's not my era.
Bullet's a good movie.
The Packers stuff, dude. You're not a Steve McQueen guy. Who are you kidding?
I love it when you tell me what I am. You hate it when other people do it to you, but you do it to me.
You're not a Steve McQueen. You're a Steve McQueen guy. Really?
I love
Jason Wilde, Steve McQueen. Does anybody think that Jason Wilde's a Steve McQueen guy?
Well, wait a minute now. I like Steve McQueen because he's cool, unlike me. That's what I like about Steve McQueen.
You're not a Steve McQueen guy. Come on, dude.
Prove it.
You're a Wicked guy. You're going to go see Wicked. You're not going to go see Bullet. Let's just, come on.
The Great Escape? Come on.
Yeah, I'm sure.
You're a Kristen Chenoweth
Go
guy.
on IDBM and just keep naming Steve McQueen movies.
Those are the only.
He had a boss car. I do know he had a boss car. He was a big car guy. That I know. Back to Alan's point. That wasn't your guys' love of Steve McQueen, quote unquote. Is Matt LaFleur has a hard time letting go of people. That is a great empathetic quality to have, but it is not. I thought his comparison to Greg Roman. Greg Roman was with the Harbaughs forever. They must be tight on tight. But they saw that the offense, it wasn't moving in the right direction. And where I just keep coming back to, and I know Goody was all stood up on the table from a special team standpoint. This isn't 1 year. Was that his fourth year or his third year as the special teams coordinator?
Fourth, 22, 23, 24, 25.
And none of them been any good. It hasn't. The special teams haven't been any good. And that's where I have a hard time understanding what we're doing there. And that's why I've been so vociferous in my critique. Offensive line, you could argue the last couple of years, it hasn't been good enough. What's his name from Philly is out there now. I don't know how that all plays out. I think he's still under contract. Stoutland. Mm-hmm. He is, I think, everybody kind of renowned as. Now, Philly's offensive line didn't have a great year either, in fairness. So I think Alan's points on that are very valid. I think we've been echoing that. And if you're going to stay status quo, you better get that blank fixed. It's on you if you don't.
Yep. We don't have much
wait
time.
For the Steve McQueen marathon.
What?
Wilde is going to be hosting a Steve McQueen marathon movie
I will
extravaganza.
I will go up, take
YouTube.
a picture of how Bullet is on our DVR, and I watch it every couple of months. I love that movie.
Sure you do.
If you're not going to let me defend myself,
he's watching Bullet every couple months, he says. He doesn't have time. Oh, my God. I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do.
He might.
He doesn't. There's no blanket way. None. Bullet. Oh, rough and tumble. What are you doing on the weekend? I'm watching Bullet. No big deal. That's what I do.
It's one of those things that I like to have on when I'm. Never mind. Let's tell you about Associated Bank. They've got the best customer service in the industry, and they don't have any jerks working for them like I work with every day. They've got great customer service, whether it's early pay, whether it's credit monitoring, or whether it's fraud protection. And remember, they've also got Packers checking, Badgers checking, and Brewers checking. Tausch played for two of those three teams, took batting practice, and stole someone's pants for the third team. He's irritating me right now, but it is after 11:15. Go to AssociatedBank.com to find out more. Whoa, Nelly will be brief, and it will be next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Tired of waking up exhausted? That dad bod weighing you down? Let's get you back to the old you. If your energy, focus, and drive aren't what they used to be, your hormones could be out of balance. At Mentality, we'll dig into what's really going on, then build a personalized, science-backed plan using hormone therapy and peptide treatments to get your brain and your body back on track. So stop telling yourself you're just getting older. Book your appointment now at lowtusa.com. Right now, all new patient labs are covered in your treatment plan. That's a savings of $250. Go to lowtusa.com.
The UW Credit Union member Mark Tauscher here. People ask me, old T, why did you join UW Credit Union? Well, is it to keep your banking local? Is it the member-first service? Great perks like early payday? Absolutely. But honestly, between us, I mean, it's Bucky. I can't say no to that face. If you love Wisconsin like I do, you just can't pay with anything else. Fandom makes us do crazy things, but this just makes sense. Become a UW Credit Union member and get your Bucky card like me. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions apply.
An ESPN Radio Extra Point with Chris Canty.
They had 51 yards at halftime. It wasn't as if the New England Patriots was like, oh, you know what? We're going to call a game where offense is only going to have 50 yards at halftime or 80 yards after the end of the third quarter. That wasn't the game plan. The game plan wasn't, hey, let's not have any offense. Like, the game plan was our offense has got to do something. And guess what? The best defenses are going to wear down if your offense doesn't give you any production. And that was the reality of it. And then on one of the most promising drives that New England had in the fourth quarter, your quarterback throws an errant throw in the middle of the field that gets picked off by Julian Love. Completely unnecessary play from Drake May's part. Pressing because there was so much pressure on him down to down because the offensive coordinator and play caller Josh McDaniels refused to run the damn football. My God, it's just a disgusting game by Josh McDaniels.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
On eBay, every find has a story. Like if you're looking for a vintage band tee, not just any tee, the band tee. You wore it everywhere until your best friend stole it. Now you're on eBay, and there it is. Same tee from the same tour. The things you love have a way of finding their way back to you, especially on eBay. Where else can you find that mint trading card you searched everywhere for, or your first car, the one you wish you never sold? It has to be eBay. Shop eBay for millions of finds, each with a story. eBay, things people love.
When winter hits Wisconsin hard, SafePlow hits back. Founded by two locals who know winter inside and out, SafePlow delivers no-tolerance snow removal, meaning they're on it before, during, and after every storm for hospitals, retail centers, and all businesses that can't afford downtime. From small driveways to massive parking lots, SafePlow's dedicated team keeps your property clear, safe, and accessible, prioritizing handicap ramps and disabled parking every time. At SafePlow, they handle the blizzard, you handle your business. Serving Madison, Milwaukee, and all of southeastern Wisconsin. Book now at SafePlow.com.
The pulse of the Milwaukee Bucks, straight from a Bucks legend.
Can't get it off. Marcus Johnson will, though. Can't leave him alone for a ball.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson on Bucks Plus. Marcus and his son Chris offer a weekly beat on Bucks basketball. Get your questions answered and hear from the biggest names in basketball. Find Here District with Marcus Johnson at bucks.com/plus on the Bucks app or wherever you get your podcasts. You're listening to Wilde Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Unfortunately, we don't have enough time to get further into my DVR viewing habits.
Thanks, Alan.
Oh, my God.
Because I feel like there's actually some interest in what else is recorded.
You are a stubborn old mule, man. I'll tell you that. You will die on hills that I don't understand why.
Are you going to apologize? You going to apologize?
No, I'm not apologizing. No. Not even close to an apology. No.
I showed you evidence of Bullet on the DVR for over a year, nearly a year.
Yeah. Have you watched it tri-monthly?
Probably a couple of weeks ago I had it on when I was writing. It's toward the end of the football season.
He'll watch it tonight to prove a This is what stubborn mules do. He'll watch it tonight and then talk about it to make sure he reiterates how much he loves Steve McQueen.
You're just as stubborn.
Don't play the icky-sticky game. We're not doing the icky-sticky game. Not doing it.
You are super stubborn, too. That's part of your charm.
How about that Brewers trade?
Hey, I'll tell you one thing. I ain't going to sit here and tell you I'm a diehard Steve McQueen fan. I can promise you that.
We're already late for Rich Eisen. We still have another commercial.
Thanks, Alan. Alan.
I just thought he would give
Alan.
2 movies.
I
didn't know he was going to give me the backstory.
Nah, you literally went in it. It was a 10-minute movie review on you and Alan's favorite
Steve McQueen
That was
films.
a beautiful thing.
And Robert Redford, R.I.P.
Right.
We'll wrap things up next. It's Wilde Tausch.
This is Wilde Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Half of American parents cannot afford diapers. Hi, this is WTMJ's Kristen Bry. This spring, WTMJ and the Milwaukee Diaper Mission are teaming up to change that. Join me for WTMJ Cares, Bowling for Babies, where we will raise funds for Milwaukee Diaper Mission. Register to bowl with us on March 7th at Village Bowl in Menominee Falls. Registration is now open. Go to WTMJCares.com to sign up. Act quickly, teams will fill up fast. It's WTMJ Cares, Bowling for Babies to help the Milwaukee Diaper Mission.
There's never been a better time to experience Pella in person and get all your questions answered. Join us at the Neary Spring Home Improvement Show, February 13th through the 15th at Wisconsin State Fair Park. Book your in-home consultation at the show and receive a free DesignWorks rendering. Rest easy with Pella's 10-year limited warranty and get 0% interest for up to 48 months. Set your free in-home consultation at PellaWI.com.
With your Saganiac Planning Marquette recap, I'm Will Summers. The Golden Eagles celebrated National Marquette Day on Saturday with a 70-55 win over Butler. 4 out of 5 starters finished in double figures, led by senior Chase Ross, who finished with 19 points, 4 rebounds, and 5 assists.
Chase Ross, he'll try a 3. Good! Chase Ross, he's doing his.
Ross knocking down some threes.
That's right.
It's a rather quick turnaround for Marquette as they will go on the road to take on Villanova on Tuesday.
Your business is unique, and your health plan should be too. At United Healthcare, our group health plans are built for you and your employees. Whether you're running a small startup or managing a large enterprise, we offer solutions designed to fit your needs, your goals, and your budget. Explore your options today at uhc.com/Wisconsin. Insurance coverage provided by or through United Healthcare Insurance Company or its affiliates. Administrative services provided by United Healthcare Services, Inc. or their affiliates. Health plan coverage provided by or through United Healthcare of Wisconsin, Inc.
Disney on Ice presents Frozen and Encanto in one exciting family experience. Sing along with Anna and Elsa in wintry Arendelle. And celebrate the power of love, y familia, with Mirabel and Bruno in the show everyone will be talking about, live in your hometown. Playing Fiserv Forum this week. Great seats still available. Visit DisneyOnIce.com for show details.
If you're trying to get through your daily activities and you're noticing you can't because you're focusing more on your pain than being able to enjoy the moment, those are the patients that we're looking to treat because we can make a difference.
That's Dr. Ashley Caravelli, a medical director for QC Kinetics.
What we're doing at QC Kinetics is offering treatments that help with joint preservation. We use cutting-edge technology in our in-house lab to harness your body's natural healing powers and target the areas where you need them the most.
These are regenerative, non-surgical treatments, and QC Kinetics is the nation's leader, delivering lasting relief to tens of thousands of patients.
What we do know is that the sooner we start treatment, the sooner you'll see relief.
So don't wait another minute. See if you're a good candidate for these non-surgical treatments for joint pain. The consultation is completely free.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-240-2298. That's 414-240-2298. 414-240-2298.
Make your fitness goals last with Johnson Fitness and Wellness, the largest specialty fitness retailer in the country with 5 locations across the Milwaukee area. Johnson Fitness and Wellness carries the most diversified lineup of fitness and wellness brands. Their expert staff, white glove delivery, and installation, plus flexible financing help you build your home gym with confidence. For a limited time, save big during their President's Day sale, including free weight plates on select Force USA gyms. Visit one of their stores today or shop online at johnsonfitness.com.
You're listening to Wilde Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Because
Jesse, that was your best Whoa Nelly ever.
I've resorted to now sharing my thoughts on the Brewers trade in the YouTube comments with our fans who wanted to talk about it. So we got that
Tausch
going for us.
commenting at all?
No, he hasn't been seen in there yet.
It won't let me in.
We could talk about the Brewers tomorrow. We'll also talk to Evan Cohen, I think, after he's back from the Super Bowl and everything else. And more fun. Thanks for coming along for the ride with us today. Again, Bullet can be found on Turner Classic Movies in case you're looking for it. Have a great day. Take care. Be good.
miss any of today's episode of Wilde Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin? Commercial-free full show podcasts are available free on the ESPN Wisconsin app.
I'm very familiar with Gruber Law offices because they're always out in the community.
Gruber Law offices are known